For me, it's seeing it all come in fruition. I know how well the convener worked with everybody who was involved in this. However hard you work, you're never sure how this is going to pan out. It was seeing, like you both alluded to, the caliber of personalities, and not just the caliber, the affirmation of their support for this movement, for me, was it. The VP, it's always a delight to listen to. But I think yesterday he took it to the next level, giving insights why culture or religion should not be a barrier to inclusion. He gave some very solid examples. Having the CJN speak and having Amina Mohammed speak, who interestingly are from cultural setups you might want to say preclude inclusion, was poignantly symbolic. And that, I think, was for me high point. And just the mere fact that it happened and everybody here was happy that we're not just having this conversation, but having it at the highest level was very fulfilling for me. And like I said yesterday and today, I think I feel very honored to be a part of it all. But that's so much. It's about time to get started today. So I think I will allow you lovely ladies get the conversation going. Since you are included, let the he for she champion take his lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mohammed. Let's put our hands together for Mohammed Haruna Mohammed, our Director of Ceremonies and Director of Communications and Media for this event, and a true he for she champion. So MB, what can we expect for today?
Yes, so for today we have, we will begin as usual with the national anthem to start the event today. After that, we have the gender masterclass and the town hall meeting. So please, can we have Miss Uchechi Ann Anyanwu? A round of applause for her as she comes up to lead us with national anthem and prayer. As she comes up here, I'd like to crave my indulgence to please be upstanding as we start the event formally for today with the national anthem and the prayer. Uchechi Ann Anyanwu. A better round of applause for her. She has a sonorous voice. We did a fantastic job yesterday, and I'm sure she'll do better today. The Nightingale. Thank you.
Nigeria, we held our own dear native land, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be our symbol, that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our request. Help us to build our
Thank you very much for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. I can see that we have some more guests coming in. Welcome. I'd also like to welcome our online audience. We're grateful that you're here with us this morning. Please remember to use the hashtag #SheIsIncluded as you report on the day's events. So yesterday I had the great pleasure of introducing a man by the name of Dr. Abubakar Zauro, who is the technical advisor to the President on economic and financial inclusion, as well as the convener of this conference. Dr. Zauro has put together 3 key events, one starting in May, one in December, and finally this one in January, She's Included. This is all thanks to the ASO Accord, which is one of the most groundbreaking accords that has ever been signed in Nigeria, specifically for economic and financial inclusion. Dr. Zauro is very focused on this She's Included initiative, which is a groundbreaking project under this accord on economic and financial inclusion. I would say that it's really helping to reshape the financial landscape for women and ensuring that all women across Nigeria have access to finance and are part of the formal financial ecosystem. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Abubakar Zauro, who will set the context for the day. Let's put our hands together for him, please.
Wow. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So let me please start by building on the protocol that was established yesterday. It's a continuation. So let me just build on that. But notwithstanding, I'm appreciating all the great personalities in the room. I don't want to go into nitty-gritty so that I may make a mistake of omitting some. But truly speaking, today, just like yesterday, we have very eminent and, of course, indeed important personalities. I think to me, those of today are even more eminent because today it's a deliberate choice that we are going to have a true conversation around gender inclusion. Okay, so within the gender inclusion space. Today we intend to have a conversation around the supply side and then the demand side of this ecosystem. What does that mean? We have the providers, financial service providers, and other forms of initiatives that we're going to have. Is going to be for our first session today, then followed by the demand side, where we have beautiful initiatives from people across this ecosystem. They were actually identified from different part of the world, part of the country, to be able to intimate people about beautiful initiatives going on across the country within the gender inclusion space. So as we heard from eminent personalities yesterday, the intention of this conversation this time, both yesterday and today, is actually to trigger conversation around gender inclusion. We all know, as it has been said multiple times, ASO Accord was issued by this administration as one of the blueprints, for economic and financial inclusion. The intention is they are basically having about 3 parameters. The first one is to understand how important, the economic and financial inclusion is to the administration of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, because it is, in fact, inclusivity is one of the pillars, of the 8-point agenda, which everybody is familiar with. The second one is to recognize the importance and, of course, to commit this administration to supporting economic and financial inclusion for the country. And lastly, and of course, more importantly, is to broker, a public-private partnership. At the same time, also to have public-public partnership and then private-private partnership. Unlike the usual public-private, we actually want to go beyond that so that even among yourself, the private sector should also discuss and see how they can partner. I think that is a new slogan of business of nowadays. It's about collaboration, no longer competition that we go to the extent of calling it controlled competition, that you are trying to push somebody out of the business. This time around, come, let us collaborate. The space is big enough, for you to be able to do business. We all know that a lot of good people come all the way from different parts of the world to come to Nigeria to do their businesses in the remotest area that we never imagined that certain things are happening. I have been seeing that in Abuja or in other places. If you go to other places like Central area, like many other places, you will see white people setting up one kind of, even as low as food business, that Nigerians can cook very beautiful food, but you do not know that that opportunity is also there. It's about packaging, branding, how do you package your things? And we know that women are good at some of these initiatives. So I think we are just here to tell you that there is opportunity in this. So I think it is up to all of us now to collaborate and see how we can exploit this opportunity to drive. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm not here for lecture. It's just to first of all appreciate you, to thank you for everything, to thank you for your support. You come from various parts of the country to join this initiative, and to also welcome you for this session of today, and to promise you that today will certainly be a better session than that of yesterday. And of course, finally, to also promise you our determination and support and our open door policy. If you have initiatives, please, we are available. We have our website, www.shesincluded.org. We will be giving some updates about this She's Included initiative journey. We are even planning to do more, so we will be using that channel to communicate all the initiatives. So today we have different people from different spaces. I think the MC need to come back to introduce those first panel, and that is to say about the panel that will discuss about the masterclass. Masterclass. We want to do something different that was not done in the usual, conference or something like this today. So please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to urge you to take full advantage of today and this initiative. And I promise you that it's not going to be just discussing. We will follow it through to ensure the implementation of the recommendations of this. And we will publish the recommendation in the National Daily so that everybody can also have access. And at the same time, we urge all of you also to ensure that your database, your company, your details and whatever is on our database, so that we will be reaching out to you for whatever next steps that we're going to have. I thank you so much, gentlemen and gentle ladies, for being here, and we do appreciate you most sincerely. And we do hope that you will participate actively by asking questions and even challenging the issues being discussed here. Because there is no stupid question, Every question is important, because those are the real things that we need to harvest so that we can transform them into the policy initiative of this administration, so that we continue to do forward. Gentlemen and gentle ladies, thank you so much once again, and you're welcome to the day 2 of the Gender Inclusion Conference 2025, She is Included. Thank you once again. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zauro, for that wonderful context setting. Let's put our hands together for him one last time, the convener of this wonderful, very important conference. So before we start our gender masterclass this morning, we're going to play a very quick video, and I'm going to ask the media team to do that. So over to you, media team, to please kindly play that video. This is an overview of what happened yesterday, so let's take a look at that, in case you weren't here and you missed it. All right, I apologize about that. There's been a bit of a mix-up with the agenda. So I'd like to call upon a man who has been very instrumental in planning this conference. You may have heard from him yesterday, but he's here again today to speak to us about what we can expect today, as well as the objective for day 2. So let's please put our hands together for Dr. Stephen Ambore, who is the Technical Lead, Economic and Financial Inclusion Secretariat Office of the Vice President. Let's put our hands together, please, for Dr. Stephen Ambore, who is going to tell us all about the session objectives for day 2. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lilian. Good morning, everyone. If you've listened to Dr. Zauro, he has said everything about today. So I do not want to keep you any longer. I just want us to go right into the day. So I just hand over to MC, so that we'll get right into the day. Thank you very much.
So I'm very excited to welcome the next speaker, who is somebody who is another he for she champion and has a lot of experience when it comes to gender and economic inclusion. He will be giving the first gender masterclass, and essentially the purpose of this masterclass is to provide financial and economic inclusion research and knowledge for stakeholders, specifically towards driving action to economic and financial inclusion. So I'll tell you a little bit about him before he joins us on the stage. He goes by the name Emezino Zino Afiegbe, who is an experienced financial gender specialist, business development, and relationship management executive. He is now the head of the Gender Center of Excellence at EFINA, Enhancing Financial Inclusion in Nigeria. Previously, he was an executive at a company called Women's Well Banking and has also worked with Visa and various other companies. Zino has a 22-year working experience leading financial adoption in Africa and has been a key driver and player in the evolution of the digital value exchange on the continent. He is a committed advocate of going into the field and engaging directly with end users with a view to co-creating pertinent and segment-specific businesses, youth, women, and for men. Zino is also a father of 2 girls and a very dedicated husband. Please welcome him onto the stage. Let's put our hands together for Emezino Zino Daniel Afiegbe, the head of the Gender Center of Excellence at EFINA. Thank you. Let's keep the claps going, please, as Zino makes his way onto the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very beautiful day to be together. And we're going to have a fine conversation this morning on something that all of us are very comfortable with, and the reason why we came to Abuja and we're here to be included. All right, so if we can have the slide displayed. Before the presentation comes up, I want to ask us to do something very special. Now, if there is a lady beside you you've not met yet, please turn to her and tell her you are included. If it's a man beside you, tell him he's included too. All right. Now, there are 3 words we are going to express. And these 3 words all start with the letter F. And we're going to still tell that same person these words. Please turn to the lady or the man seated beside you and say, you are fantastic. You are fabulous. And the last one is, you are favored. All right, perfect, very well done. Okay, so we're waiting for the slides to come on. Just to give you an idea of the format, thank you very much for the conversation. We are going to look at some concepts. And after looking at these concepts, we are going to discuss gender from 4 perspectives. For every aspect we cover, we are going to invite a representative of an organization within us who will, for 3 minutes, tell us what they have done in the real world to drive and advance inclusion for the gender in question. Now, as we progress in the presentation, you are going to see the theoretical definitions and understand that when I had earlier said that if it's a lady beside you, say you are included, if it's a man, say you are included, it's because all of us here, men and women, fall under the umbrella of gender. Let's progress to the next slide. We are going to consider the reason why we are here as a gift. G-I-F-T. So the 4 sections we'll cover in this masterclass start with those alphabets. First section, gender is what? That's your G. The second one is intentionality and innovation in products, solutions, service and process enhancement and delivery. Then the third section we'll cover is when it comes to gender inclusion, what are the factors and the variables that are pulling on gender? We'll find out. And then the last section we'll cover is what are the techniques and the remediation measures? Yesterday, we had a lot of experts here. And all these experts shared from different industries remediation actions. We're going to try to bring it all together in that 4th section. So let's dive into those definitions. What is gender? Next slide. Okay. Do we know this lady? Wrong question. Her name is there already. So please, those in the control section, just click only once before we get to see some of these very exemplary and pace-setting individuals. One of my favorite authors, Chimamanda, she said something about gender. She said, when not understood well, the problem with gender is that it describes how we should be rather than recognizing how we are. And she continued by saying, imagine how much happier we would be, how much freer to be our true individual selves if we did not have to carry the weight of gender expectations. There is something called gender norms, and that is how it affects expectations. We are coming to that. Next slide. So what is gender? Let's move on. So 3 points will be covered. What we mean by gender, what is called gender mainstreaming, how we can do that in our organizations, whether in the public sector or the private sector. And then we're now going to look at gender inclusion itself. Why should we care about gender inclusion? Why is it worth our time and investment for being here? And then we're going to wrap up with what are the barriers while looking at this first module, Gender Is. Next slide. By gender, we mean, let's look at the essence of gender. First point. Carry on. So there are two definitions you will see here. The first one is by UNICEF, and the second one is by the World Health Organization. We're going to look at the second one from the World Health Organization. Essentially, these definitions will help us to know that even though usually when we fill application forms and you see the section that says gender and you see beside it male, then you see beside it female, those boxes to tick, you really cannot technically use them interchangeably. Gender and sex, they mean two different things. So according to the World Health Organization, click please. Gender refers to the characteristics of women, men, girls, and boys that are socially constructed. And it continues. This includes norms, behaviors, and roles associated with being a woman, man, girl, or boy, as well as relationships with each other. And the definition finalizes by saying, as a social construct, gender varies from society to society and can change over time. So what that means is that the social setting one finds oneself and the way that collective, they view gender affects how we feel about our gender, which is why in some parts of the world, and thankfully largely not here, from a personal perspective, there are those who are trans, we've heard about trans, binary, which means they neither associate with male, they neither associate with female, but thankfully in Nigeria and most parts of sub-Saharan Africa, we are largely binary, which means you are either male or female. Now, like we said earlier on, all of us here are covered by the umbrella of gender. So gender, when you mention that word, don't necessarily think man or woman all the time. Think about humanity. When you think about it from the perspective of humanity, you would also bear in mind that there has to be equilibrium. There has to be balance in humanity. No part of humanity should be disadvantaged. So our focus on gender in this conference is to make sure that we have a level playing field. So if there's any component of gender in our binary system, male or female, we need to close the gap. We need to close that deficiency, right? Let's move on. So all the statistics in the organization which I represent, Enhancing Financial Innovation and Access, EFINA, in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics, every 2 years, we carry out a survey. And from the survey, there's a lot of data that comes out to tell us the gender gap is this number. As of the gender gap of 9% between men and women's access to formal financial services. And yesterday, we heard a lot from experts about the gender gap in other aspects of our lives. Next point, please. So is the fact that we are largely binary, all humanity is covered as well, so we want to close gaps to ensure we get our maximum potential. Next point, please. Now, here are two concepts. The first one we're looking at now is gender equality. We've also heard about another one, gender equity. They are not the same. Equality, the first one we're looking at, refers to distribution of resources. What does that mean in a very simple way? If in this hall right now we have 500 people and 300 have shoes, then 200 are lacking in equality. But if you give all the 500 people shoes, then there's equality. But there might not be equity. How? The equity will come in if the shoe you give me is my size. get the point? Next is the definition of equity. And it says there, fairness. So, if, for example, I want to play basketball, and the person I'm playing against is on a wheelchair, that's not equity. That person on the wheelchair needs to be equipped with more things to match my speed. Then you can say there's equity. But the fact that we're playing together, there's equality. That's the difference. Next slide, please. Gender mainstreaming. Essentially, if you look at a stream that is shallow, a shallow stream, you can see the riverbed, isn't it? What you likely will see in that shallow, the silt, the sand, maybe some fish, and you see that the stream is spread all across, and on both banks of the stream, there is greenery, there is vegetation that is flourishing. So we're talking about mainstreaming, essentially saying that in every department, every agency, every parastatal in the government, and then in the private sector, from the entry-level staff to the cleaner, to the person in admin, to the director, to the governor, they all need to recognize wearing a gender lens in all the decisions. Not to think only with the mindset of a man, but recognize that gender is all of us, gender is humanity. So when we're making decisions, is it convenient for women and men? That is gender mainstreaming. When a policy is being formulated, does it recognize the uniqueness, the peculiarities, the challenges being experienced by women before that policy is implemented? Next point, please. Next one. We've described mainstreaming, so we're not going to dwell too much on these points. Next one. Gender lens. Let's see the remaining two images. The last image, please click. These are three different devices that use lens. The first one on top is a side view mirror, right? Written on it, you see an expression like, items appear closer than they really are. Sometimes you see that expression. Why did we use this image? To represent the fact that when you are thinking of developing policies for the benefit of women, you need to look back. You need to understand, where is she coming from? What's the background? And then the next image you see that shows a magnifying glass. That tells us that don't generalize. Don't say all women are the same. Recognize that they're in different segments. And look for the detail. Because when you understand the detail, from sunrise to sunset, what is her journey? What are her aspirations? What are her pain points? Then you can design properly that which will be beneficial to them, that they will embrace to be fully included and productive in society. Then the last one is telescope. The lens in the telescope enables you to see far. So we want to not just be reactive, but we also want to be proactive for the benefit of all in society, men and women. Our focus is on women because for now, that is the gender that is lacking. Tomorrow it could be men. And when we come like this, it will be he's included. But for now, it's the women. Next point, please. Keep going. We've covered all this. So remember the 3 P's. We want to focus on people, processes, and policies in gender mainstreaming. Let's make sure we consider fully the full understanding of women within our entities before we come out with policies. Next slide. Let's look at another concept. Carry on. So when you say gender inclusion, we are not just talking about financial inclusion. One more click. There are 4 components that interact with each other. Can you click again? Just one more. You have social, economic, health, and regulatory inclusion. Each of these components of gender inclusion has other considerations we should pay attention to. Next click, please. So, when it comes to social inclusion, we are looking at the reality of women being involved in decision making in families, which refers to their agency, their ability to contribute, and their contributions to be regarded and considered before a joint discussion is made in the home. Then we have participation in that regard, exercise of their prerogative, and then what is called power dynamics. In practically all relationships, there's what we call power up, power down. It's important for us to elevate women from a point where their talents, their abilities, their skills are brought to bear for the benefit of the family unit and in turn the entire community. So if they're in a power down situation, we want to elevate them from that. That is social inclusion. When you now look at the health inclusion, next click please. Next one. And the last one. You are talking about mental health. You are talking about physical well-being. And then the painful, horrendous practice of gender-based violence in its different ramifications. When you talk about regulatory, you are now looking at access to beneficial financial services. So what are the KYC regulations? What are the policies and guidelines that are out there? Do they consider the woman who is selling bolly along the road? The woman who needs to borrow from a loan shark by 6 a.m. in the morning and then pay back by 6 p.m. at a very high rate? Guidelines. And then, of course, issues around identification related to KYC and pricing. Many women who are in their AJO arrangements or ESUSU arrangements, they are not complaining. They didn't say they needed help. They're in their comfort zone. So if you're going to pull them from that situation into formal financial services, it shouldn't cost more. So pricing is very important. Then when you look at economic inclusion, you are looking at the bottom of the pyramid, the so-called grassroots. How can you get women from that position to be productive? What is involved? If you can sort that out, beyond the grant, if there is grant without knowledge, you are back to square zero. So we need to ensure that we fully cater to the economic inclusion, the social inclusion, and health inclusion, and regulatory. Next slide, please. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this, but basically, this came out of the research we did in 2023. What it revealed when we went across the whole country, we interviewed 27,000 people, and we're able to establish that when it comes to economic inclusion, the key drivers include education and financial literacy. Something we heard on this stage yesterday was awareness, awareness, awareness. If people don't know that there is a service available, if people don't know that there is a loan they can get at single-digit interest rate, if people don't know that the cashews they are farming can be exported and this is the channel to follow, they will not access it, they will not utilize it. If she is given a loan and she doesn't know that she needs to repay on a monthly basis, she will not repay and she will thank you for the grant. Share of national cake. Don't blame her when you come back to recover without the knowledge and the know-how. Next slide, please. Keep going. Based on that information we got, here are about 5 measures that need to be considered when looking at what can be implemented. So the first one we've talked about, education, digital and financial literacy. The second one we mentioned earlier, the importance of agency, the ability of the woman to independently and confidently contribute to conversations in the family about managing the household so that a decision beneficial to the entire family would be arrived at. Then, health issues. Somebody who is unwell, mentally or physically, cannot be productive. So you can't talk about gender inclusion without addressing variables affecting health. Let's move on to the next slide. Carry on, please. And let's look at these barriers. So to help us easily remember the barriers affecting women with regard to gender inclusion, use the acronym CANT, C-A-N-T. They are saying she can't, we are saying she's included. Those barriers, the C represents cost. Cost inhibiting women from being attracted to formal financial services. Cost inhibiting the women from being able to start their small business or to grow their small business or to cater to their health needs, to pay school fees for their children. The A is awareness we've been talking about and access. So the woman is in a hinterland location, far from the nearest agent, far from the nearest branch. The cost to get there is quite a lot. She will stick with her ajo or a susu. Can't blame her or anybody in that situation. The N has to do with norms. And the T is trust. So a low-income woman, a woman nano SME or an MSME. M is micro, N is nano. She will look at this beautiful bank building made of glass and its panels and people dressed in suits and say, that is not for me. They won't accept my 500 naira or 200 naira. Or one of them within the market manages to take a loan, and then the loan sharks go after her, embarrass her, turn over her table with the fruits on it. She's not coming back. In fact, all the market people will hear about the experience, and the trust levels will diminish further. So that is CANT. Those are the barriers. So when we get to the end of the master class, in the last module, you're going to see the various remediation measures. Next slide. So why should we care? This was touched on yesterday, so we're not going to dwell on it too much. And according to research, that 9% gap we mentioned earlier, if you close it, the addition to Nigeria's income by 2030, according to McKinsey Global Institute, would amount to $229 billion if you close it. If we don't do nothing, we just have this nice conversation during this milestone conference and go back to business as usual, it will take 131 years to close the gap. We heard this yesterday. So that is why we should care about this. We should also care because, as you can see on the right, the future generation, the children we have at home, they are being nurtured by their mothers. If you don't care about their health, if you don't care about the information passed on to them, if you don't care about the biases being moved on generation to generation, then tomorrow is very grim in outlook. We are going to have a society where there won't be equity still, and we'll miss out on productivity, we'll miss out on income opportunities that would come with equality and equity. We all talk about climate change. Do we know that we have a lot of smallholder farmers who are women? Recognizing that reality, how can we support them in the midst of changing climate and how it affects produce and yield and times to farm? How can we give them support when floods that are unexpected come and destroy all their crops? How do we help them not to start afresh? Do they have insurance, for example? Do they have pension? Next slide, please. So at this point, like we promised when we started, for each of the modules, and this is the first one, we would want to ask a practitioner, somebody in an organization that is currently carrying out some work, to hear from them briefly what they have done related to the module, the topic of the module. So at this point, let me invite to join me here the first representative of our contributors today. So just a moment as we call the very first representative that will join us here for 3 minutes to tell us what are they doing in her organization with regard to recognizing the import of gender. So it gives me pleasure to call, to join me here for 3 minutes, the representative of, do we have Grooming Center here? Grooming Center, are you here? All right, so can we have Grooming Center come? Please join us. Please, a round of applause for the team from Grooming Center who want to come and tell us for 3 minutes what they are doing. Let's welcome them. Okay. Thank you. A round of applause, please. So we have the entire team. We have 2 lovely ladies and 1 gentleman here. We would love the lady to speak. So between the 2 ladies here, who is going to speak, tell us for 3 minutes. But before you go, just tell us your first name. And please say, I'm included, because that's why we're here. So let's start with the first lady.
My name is Maureen. I'm included.
Excellent. We agree with you. Next.
Okay, I'm Chid. I'm included. My name is Chijioke, and I am not just only included, I am verified included.
Confirmed. Thank you very much. So very good to have you here. We know that there's a lot that Grooming Center has been doing, focusing on women's inclusion, focusing on gender. Over 90% of your customer base are women MSMEs. Can you, for 2 minutes, share with us what you've successfully been able to achieve in addressing this segment, what you've paid attention to? So who is going to speak for us? All our included plus the verified. All right? The clock starts.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, at Grooming Center, we have operated an inclusive organizational structure. This is having the clients involved in a hierarchy of decision-making via General Assembly and focus group discussions. Yeah, these forums, we use them as a channel to have interactions with our clients in Grooming Center, either virtual or physical. And the clients are allowed to make decisions telling us what we have not done or what we have done and where they want us to make improvements. And also, we have non-financial services where we provide health awareness programs for the clients. And also, we provide scholarship for their children. In Grooming Center, we have 97% of our client base as entrepreneur women who are financially excluded. Also, we have communication focus, where we don't just wait for the client to call us through our toll-free line. We also reach out to them. We call them. We want to know how they're doing. It's not just about the loan. It's not just about the repayment. we want to be sure that the loans actually make impact in their lives, in the lives of their children, the household as a whole. Because we believe that when you empower a woman, you're actually building the society.
Okay, let me speak on the aspect of the staff. Now we are talking about Shesincluded, including women in financial literacy, and then making us to be among the elites here. So in Grooming Center, we have large number of our staff members, women. In fact, the top management staff, we have virtually 70% of them as women, and that is quite encouraging. Coming down to the staff, the junior staff in the branches, majority of them are women. And then, you know, like she rightly said, majority of our clients are women, 97% of them are women. So the staff that manage them are women because they know their needs. They can actually dive into what they need and then bring feedback to us through clients, through staff, for us to know how to innovate our products and then give them what they need. So basically, Grooming Center are client-centric, and then we actively include women in all that we do. So I'll leave the rest to she is included to complete the.
Yes, good morning everyone. I wanted to speak on the product side because it's the products that we provide that empower our clients to reach their goals and aspirations. Now, we started in December 2006, 19 years old as an institution by December this year. We have touched the lives accumulatively of over 12 million women. We're spread across 581 branches as of December 2004, and we are actively supporting the businesses and livelihoods of about 515,000 women in 32 states of the country. The only states, and we hope to cover them, that we haven't reached yet are Borno, Sokoto, Adamawa, and Zamfara. We will get there and ensure that every woman in Nigeria is included. We believe that the client is not king, the client is queen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our team from Grooming Center. We appreciate your sharing your insights. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We're going to also hear from a few other organizations as we go through the modules. But now I want us to look at the image of another pace-setting lady. Can we bring up the presentation? Do we know who this is? Next click, please. She's one of my favorites. And she's somebody who lives on with her legacy. Now let's see what she said. Next click, please. Never do things in half measure. Either you are in or you are not. If you are in, give it your very best shot. Success or failure, there are always vital lessons to be learned. You are better off you never lose. Incidentally, one of the roles she played in her life, she was the CEO of the National Center for Women's Development. Never do things in half measure, which is why the next module we are considering is about product development, process design. Next click, please. Now, the next slide I like. This is something we know. Next slide. Next one. This is what we're covering. Next slide. Who doesn't like this food? Next click. This is actually, okay, that's not coming. I went ahead of myself. So, we are going to find out here about the meaning of gender intentionality. And what should we consider when we are designing? Next click. Here you see the image of a lady who is the center of the solar system, as it were. It's just an illustration to show that when you are designing, design around your understanding of the woman. Many of us are aware of human-centered design or customer-centric design. That's what that image is illustrating. Next point. Next one, we've talked about being centered. Here are some things to avoid when you are designing for women, having understood the concept of gender. First thing to avoid, pink washing. That every single thing for a woman must be pink color. That's their favorite color. Next thing to avoid, one size fits all. As long as it's good for the man, it's good for everybody. It's not true. Next thing to avoid, bandwagon effect. If you're a financial institution, because Grooming Center has a product where they bundled health insurance, does not necessarily mean that is what you should do. Go and interact with the target segment first. Understand their context. Take that magnifying gender lens. Get the detail and design properly so the women will embrace your solution and not just open an account that will be dormant. To avoid again, somebody here, one of the experts that came here to this milestone event, mentioned the need for patient capital. Did we remember that? Patient capital, not capital of 12 months. I have to report high results this year. If I cannot implement the solution in 12 months of 2025, I'm not interested. That is the reality, largely on the supply side. But we need to allow products have a gestation period that is realistic. It is more than 12 months usually. Next slide. And this is where the food comes in. I went ahead of myself. Do we know this meal? I eat this every Tuesday. It's on my calendar, and they know at home. So my beautiful wife knows the way to my heart. But what this slide is talking about, click again, please, just one click. You don't go to trees to pluck a goosey soup. It follows a process. There are inputs. There is a sequence. There is a time it takes to get this output. That is the process we want to consider now. The next slide is going to show you key things to consider when you're designing a policy or a product to ensure that women are included. Next slide, please. One more click. So you need to ensure that every single stakeholder is involved. Nobody should come to tell you when the solution is about to be approved that I'm just hearing about it for the first time. They should actually be aware from the get-go that you want to carry out this research and understand the woman segment very well and design for them. Then I'm going anti-clockwise. You can see 3 C's are necessary before you implement any policy or product or solution or process. The first one is there has to be commitment from the executive floor. There has to be buy-in. Number 2, there has to be capability, the ability to implement that solution. And there has to be resources, capacity. That's the 3rd C. Another consideration you see at the very bottom, before you design any product, please, or solution or policy, do thorough research. Thorough research is supply side research, demand side research. Demand side, the last mile, the women you want to serve, meet them in the trenches, which is what that last circle on the right is saying. Embedment in women's operations. Go to the market. When I went to a popular market in Lagos, Mile 12, where a lot of fruits are actually bought, and from there people buy and retail elsewhere in Lagos, we interacted with a woman who had opened a savings account and told us nothing will make her borrow from the bank. And she has good turnover. How will you know that if you don't go to the trenches and meet the women in their environment? Next slide. Next click. Please keep going. So this is the process. And we're going to have another organization come up to share with us how they've utilized this process successfully for over 45 years in developing solutions. Now, it all begins from the left. You have an idea. You have a concept. But to be sure that concept really is relevant, like we just said, interact with the demand side and the supply side. When you have heard all the feedback, go into the laboratory to start ideating and co-creating. When you're done with the co-creation, where you have a prototype, you test, you have focus groups, you can now move to rollout, the conversion. And within the conversion space, you also have monitoring and evaluation. When the product goes out and you've sold, you have your money, your revenue, go back after, check with the customer, check with the client, check with the women. Is this thing still working? Is it still relevant? Monitoring and evaluation. Next slide. So let's hear from our next organization. We're actually going to listen to two, but the first is Women's World Banking. So we'd like the representative from Women's World Banking. Can you join us here? Women's World Banking, while we ascertain if they are here, United Capital. Do we have United Capital here? United Capital. The representative from United Capital. Please give me a wave so we can have you join us. Okay, temporarily not here, but we're still going to hear from her. Let's move on to the next slide. Again, Women's World Banking, are you here? Okay, that's fine. So, do we know this pace-setting lady representing Nigeria on a global scale? We got a goodwill message from her yesterday. But this is what she said that we want to reference. Next click, please. We must design a future that is shaped by women and girls that realizes their rights and aspirations to a world where equality is reality. We are better investing now because we won't be able to afford it later. For the first time, we are not putting a band-aid on the problem. We are looking at the root causes. Next slide, please. So we're now going to look at the variables. There are some other things that if we say we're having a gender conversation or gender masterclass, we don't touch on them. It's an incomplete story. What are we talking about? Next click, please. Please carry on. 3 things. The first being social norms. And the next one is gender-based violence. And then 2 words some people use interchangeably: wellness and well-being. What's the difference? Why are they important for gender inclusion? Let us begin with social norms. Next click, please. Next. We have a definition from UNICEF that refers to social norms as the perceived, informal, mostly unwritten rules that define acceptable and appropriate actions within a given group or community, thus guiding human behavior. So these social norms, they're not in a book. So you go to a community, maybe you go to Gwagwalada, and you ask them, the community head, please give me your book on the social norms. You won't get it. It's unwritten, but collectively, it's passed on from generation to generation, and that is the way men behave to women, boys behave to girls, and vice versa. Next click, please. Let's look at the variables. There are 6 things that stand out. We have gender norms themselves as a subset from social norms. We have patriarchal considerations as well. We have unconscious bias. where I'll be biased and I won't know it, but my actions will show it. Then we also have business considerations and work participation. Social norms that they are unwritten but stipulate that that lady, that girl cannot be of this profession. You can't have a woman who is a pilot. Sorry, one flew me from Lagos recently. Beautifully. Then you also have well-being and wellness. Then you have education expectations. That the journey on education for a woman ends at primary 6. At that point, she's accomplished. If we really want to close the gap, we should say no to that. Next click. Very unpleasant topic to talk about, but it's going to be an incomplete conversation if we don't touch on the various manifestations of gender-based violence. We know about the physical one. Sometimes it includes murder. There was a horrible case we saw recently. I watched it on Channels Television that happened very close to us here, the border with Nasarawa State. Gender-based violence. An innocent life cut off before 23 years. And these are going on. That's the one we know. Then there's also the emotional. Then there is the one that some men will not consider to be GBV because it is just words they are expressing. But there was a woman who said that rather than getting these words on a regular basis, I prefer to be physically beaten. So there is verbal GBV. And then there is the sexual one. Next slide, please. Here are some statistics that we got from Womanity Index that mentioned that 3 out of 5 Nigerians have either personally experienced gender-based violence or know somebody who has. And then a number of states were found out from that survey to have high reported cases of GBV, and they include Bayelsa, Cross River, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, and Rivers. Next slide. And why are we even talking about GBV before we dwell into the difference between wellness and well-being? It's because it kills productivity. It kills productivity for the victim. It kills productivity for the person assaulting. It kills productivity for the children. It creates the next generation of assaulters because they would believe that if what I'm witnessing is normal, that is how I would behave when I'm of age. They might not make that pledge to themselves, but reports have shown that that is how they end up. Check the background. It occurred in their homes. Now let's look at the difference between wellness and well-being. We'll start with the definition of well-being. And well-being is a resource for daily life. This is according to World Health Organization. It's determined by social, economic, and environmental conditions. Well-being encompasses the quality of life and the ability of people and societies to contribute to the world with a sense of meaning and purpose. Overall quality of life being optimal. Now look at wellness and see if you can spot the difference. This is according to another reputable organization. One click, please. Pfizer. Of course, many of us who have used products from Pfizer, we know them. In the case of others, we have heard a lot about Pfizer during the COVID-19 pandemic because of the vaccine they developed. Definition of wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits. Remember, well-being is about quality of life. You've got into a destination. But wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes so that instead of just surviving, you are thriving. Next click. We're going to dive into a bit about wellness and what the difference with well-being is. Next click, please. So essentially, wellness leads to well-being. But what we have found is that many people women and men are not really focusing on wellness, the daily practice, drinking water every day, taking an apple or a similar fruit every day, sleeping adequately every day, 30 minutes of exercise minimum every day. Many people say they're very busy. But are you going to get to the destination of well-being without it? No. Next click, please. Sociocultural context could impede incorporating wellness practices. It's not in every community, not just in Nigeria, but across sub-Saharan Africa, where you can go out in the morning and say you want to jog. So here is the difference between wellness and well-being. I'll just take a couple of them, not all of them. On the wellness side, there has to be deliberate action, intention, and there has to be activities. On the wellness side, it's largely a physical commitment to do certain things consistently in order to achieve well-being. On the well-being side, it is a state of being. We emphasize the phrase quality of life. And you don't need to be Elon Musk or the richest person in a particular locale to experience well-being. With your resources, even though they are finite, you can be happy. You can impact the lives of others. And you can also be involved in wellness that will lead you to well-being. Then citizens associate it with feelings of satisfaction and sense of fulfillment. So that is on the well-being side. Next click. Please click again. Another area which is very critical that has to do with women being at their optimal position and girls being ushered into a life of wellness and well-being is paying attention to maternal health. What are the factors around that? There are three we'll look at. Next click, please. There is a need for awareness about how one's maternal health can be cared for, and there is a need for there to be availability of the resources to provide medical support in the primary health centers. It needs to be affordable for the women, for example, who are going to get the HPV vaccine. Is it available? Where they live, is it within reach of the primary healthcare centers? The vaccines in that location, I hope they are not expired. All those are considerations around availability. And the third one here is access related to availability as well. Next click. We're going to look at the world map now. And you will see that in Africa, we have a challenge, but particularly in our beloved Nigeria. Next click. Any country you see highlighted in red has over 1,000 deaths for every 100,000. It's very high. There are some countries that have only 4 for every 100,000. Those are the ones within the blue space. Maternal deaths in Nigeria contribute over 28% to the global figure. That's killing our productivity. That's killing our future generations as well. That is preventing us from yielding GDP as an organization, as a country rather. So the first thing we consider is health first, and once the health is in the right place, and we have our generations that are going to come catered to, then we can now start talking about full economic inclusion. Next point, next click. So here are some of the points that I had mentioned. The second bullet talks about the 28% contribution that sadly is being made to this global challenge. And then the last bullet talks about the major reasons why we're having this high rate. And a lot of it is there is poor antenatal care. Yesterday on this stage, we heard about postpartum depression. And apart from that, there's also incidents of high blood pressure during the point of delivery. So if you take your mind back to those three things we talked about, awareness is still there. If women and girls are not made aware of what they need to do when they need to do it, then we have this avoidable situation. Next click, please. All right. So let me ask again, do we have Women's World Banking present? Women's World Banking. Do we have United Capital present? All right. Fine. Very good. No problem. So we can make progress. Let us now look at another exemplary pace-setting lady that we can endeavor to be inspired by. Do we know this lady? Anybody wearing a dire? Ah, perfect. So this beautiful lady, she made a very fine remark, which we're going to consider. She is the founder of Nike Art Gallery. Next click, please. What did she say? Somehow we've come to believe that greatness is only for the chosen few. She disagrees with that. She went on to say, for the superstars, the truth is, greatness is for us all. That's the reason why when we started, we said, tell the next person that you are fantastic, you are fabulous, and you are favored. So let us bear that in mind. Next click, please. So we have covered 3 modules so far. First of all, just to understand gender as a concept. From the experts, what does it mean? We have also went on to look at how do you design products for women? What do you need to consider? And we mentioned it should be customer-centric. It should be centered. It should revolve around your proper, thorough understanding of the woman and her context. And we now looked at other variables like wellness and well-being and gender-based violence. Now we are going to wrap up with what are some measures, remediation measures and techniques we can all take, whether in the public sector or the private sector, in order to advance and support and maintain gender inclusion. Next click, please. So, 3 points. There's an expression all of us know. We heard it yesterday. He for she's, right? Yes. I am a proud he for she. And many of us here are, including Dr. Zauro. If you are somewhere, please wave, Dr. Zauro. Thank you very much. So the second point we're going to consider under this last module is awareness again and education. The third one is women market strategy reviews. What does that mean? We'll find out. Next slide, please. What are the various things that men can do as ambassadors and advocates? Here they are. Next click, please. The first point is enhance family and community prosperity by granting access and supporting women's participation. Right now, as we speak, we have a project in Kano where we are working with some courageous men, raising them as male ambassadors to ensure that their families have more prosperity by allowing their wives to participate. The men are gatekeepers. There are a number of men. There was one lovely gentleman, Abdulaziz, who told me that I love to shop for my wife, so he goes to the market on her behalf, which is a lovely thing. We are saying maintain that good practice, but if the door is open to this degree, widen it, and you will see what she will unleash as a contributor to family income. Next bullet. What else can men do as advocates and ambassadors? Increase communication and financial transparency with spouses and significant others towards better collective decision making. There was an incident that occurred many years ago in the East, Southeast, where a husband did not reveal to his wife their true financial position. There was a product by the former Diamond Bank called DTAP, Diamond Target Achievement Plan. And the way it was designed, it was bundled with insurance so that if the owner of the account dies, whatever the balance is in that account will be given to the survivor times 3. The man did not tell his wife he had this account. A few weeks before he died in the East, and we're talking about like 2003, 2004, a few weeks before he died, they had about 1.2 million, about that. He withdrew 900,000, leaving behind 300K. When sadly he died, the bank fulfilled its promise and gave the wife a check of 300,000 times 3. 900 instead of 3.6 million. What if she knew? What if there was transparency in this financial matter? Is it possible she could have advised him that, don't touch this one for your business venture. Use a transactional account. Third point, please. This is one where many husbands might not feel inclined to do, but we are recommending participate in household chores. Participate in household chores. Now, don't look at it as menial. Look at the advantage of being beside your spouse. Conversation. That is the benefit that cannot be monetized. Think about your children who are watching the cooperation and partnership, what that means for their future. Participate in household chores. Increase participation in bonding with and engagement with any children in the home, and actively provide guidance. You hear people saying, this bad behavior, this taking methamphetamines, this being a hooligan or an agbero is from the home he came from. Well, guess what? No parental communication, no relationship. We know that a lot is required to put food on the table, but be deliberate. Out of 24 hours, earmark 10 minutes for that kind of communication. Next point, please. Create and lead a wellness culture. Don't sit on your chair and tell the child, go and exercise. You need exercise. It's good for you. Demonstrate and model wellness, and you will be copied. Next slide, please. Very good. Anything your children, men and women, see, boys and girls rather see, they are taken to their homes. If there's gender-based violence, they are taken to their homes. If they hear the man say, no woman talks to me like that, and is followed by physical attack, they are taking it to their homes. So, equality we spoke about, equity we spoke about, model it, exemplify it, and then you are creating a better society. Moving on to awareness and education. As a remediation action, ensure the women, they have business development skills. Next point, please. And financial capability building. Most of us have smartphones that have Google on it and many other applications. Not everybody has smartphones. Some have feature phones, and those phones that don't have any display except those digital characters. So instead of only digital, include some physical in your planning and your programming for your products and policies, and then also do what we call phygital, which is a combination of digital and physical. We see that already at play at agent locations. It's not robots that are there, but individuals who are trained, who will interact with you, but you go there with your mobile device to cash out and other things. Then learn by doing. What are we saying here? We're saying that instead of a classroom arrangement where information is passed on to people and they go back to their lives, meet the women at the time they need to do the transaction. So here's an example. In the former organization where I worked with, in Bangladesh, they had this big factory with a lot of women who had sewing machines. A lot of the t-shirts we wear here are sewn there. And what they used to do is, on payday, when their wages are paid, they will leave their sewing machine, go to an agent location, cash out, and then take the cash back to the office, journey to the hinterland to deliver the cash. Whereas in the agent location, they would have concluded the transaction. So with regard to timing, the time to teach her how to use the app is the day the money is coming. That's what we mean by this. Next point, please. Okay, so I'm going to hurry up. The next point is about knowing the different organizations that are involved, that have different things to offer. Next point. And when it comes to the curriculum we have in our schools, don't wait until it's university time to tell people about money management. Include it even in the primary school curriculum is what we're saying as a measure. And part of the education is to teach them that no gender should be objectified. Nobody is an object. They need to know early. Because through social media, through music, through movies, different messages are being sent. Next point. We are wrapping up now. Then, for the women market strategy reviews, have periodic research. Next point. And then also look at marketplaces. People should connect to each other. We should learn about brokerage, whereby when you're offering an assistance, you are getting some income from offering that assistance. So everybody wins. Next point. Consumer protection. On the trust issue, if I lose money, I have a dispense error, and it's not resolved on time, I'm not coming back to the bank. So we need to resolve that. Next point. The need for increased collaborations. Next point. All right. Let's move to the next point. Okay. Do we know this lady? There would have been a big problem in Nigeria if Dr. Stella Ameyo Adadevo did not detain the Liberian guest in our hospital. Would have had a problem with Ebola. Next click. The quotation from her is very simple. For the greater public good. Do we have the representative from Solina? Solina. So please, for 2 minutes, you are the last one listening to. Thank you very much. And this is how we are going to wrap it up. You're welcome. Please, for 2 minutes, tell us about what Solina has been doing in the area of social norms.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, again. I'm Angela, and I am included. Solina, really, our goal is to improve health and social well-being of the vulnerable population. And the programs specifically target improving maternal health, providing access to family planning, and also solving social determinants of health issues. Now, when it comes to solving maternal health issues and increasing access to family planning, there's a lot that you see on the field concerning norms. There is the norm around the women's sort of submission to the man, right? And listening to all of his advice and decision-making before you access care. There are also things around your lack of access to economic empowerment opportunities. And specific things we've targeted 4 programs is one, we have introduced the use of heat-stable Capitocin in Lagos and Kano states in rural areas where cold chain infrastructure is not available to facilitate or to prevent postpartum hemorrhage for women, and that saved over 350,000 lives. In Bauchi State as well, we've worked with the traditional rulers and even the community people through a community reorientation women's network program that we introduced. And now the goal of that network is to create like self-help groups where women in the communities are the ones facilitating access to demand for health services. They are also being empowered and linked to different financial opportunities to also help them improve their well-being and health generally. And when you look at institutionally, organization, at the organization level, we've seen things around the norms for women's decision-making. You hear things like women shouldn't be at the seat of power, they shouldn't be at the table where decisions are being made. But at CEDA, we are really actively fighting towards that. At our board, we have 50-50 50% women's representation. At senior management level, we have 48% women's representation. And our management also has a commitment over the next 5 years to introduce the number of female principals we have in the organization. For women's also well-being and just access, we talked about well-being earlier. For women who just come back from maternity leave, who find it difficult, you're looking for crèche, where to take your child and all that. At the organization, we do have a functional crèche for women to bring their children to the office, the husbands as well. Surprisingly, we see men bringing their children as well to the office. I mean, it's a functional crèche and is accessible to everyone who works in the organization. What you've seen over the year, what that has done is to help women, they have some control over their time. Rather than having to travel distance to go and care for their kids, they can just walk to the crèche, look at them, and come back to continue their work. And in the aspect of gender-based violence, we have instituted a workplace harassment policy. And it's not just around the policy, it's also being held accountable to that policy, ensuring that we're implementing all of the principles that we have there. But generally, overall, the goal is to continue to work towards achieving the sustainable development goals for gender equality, and we do this through institutional and programmatic processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So there are a number of organizations in our midst here that are also doing wonderful things. And of course, in the next segment, we'll get to hear about those organizations. But for now, the last slide, can we just see that before I hand over to Lily? The very last slide. In closing, next click. The slide before that, please. The slide before this one. So in closing, we invite all of us to accelerate action. Let this not be a talk shop. That's why that symbol underneath the in closing is the symbol for the play button. We are asking everybody, press play. Today, press play. Include all those around you. Take all this information. Use it in the public space. Use it in the private space. And as men, remember, we are he for she's. We are ambassadors. There's an ambassador on stage. So he would also respond as Lily takes over.
Absolutely. Let's keep our hands clapping for Emezino Afiegbe, who's the lead of the Gender Center of Excellence for EFINA. Let's clap for that wonderful masterclass. He really took us through the beginning, the middle, and the end of what our futures can be. Zino, please stay on the stage. I want you to engage with this very fine gentleman that was in the audience. So I saw a couple of you nodding as Zino was giving his masterclass, but more specifically, I saw this gentleman right over here by the name of Umar chuckle a little bit when Zino said that men should help at home, help their wives at home. So I've summoned him to the stage so I can ask him a couple of questions about that. So Umar, please join me real quick. Please kindly come to the front. And I want to understand, Zino as well, I want to understand why you were chuckling when Zino made that comment.
Good morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure being here. I'm Umar Ibrahim Moro. I'm from Bauchi State. When the beautiful presenter get to that point, I recalled my family background in Bauchi State. Briefly, as our norms in the community I grew up as a Fulani, we attended nomadic school. My normally norm in the environment is that if you have children like 6 or 7, all of them mix up with mixed gender, male and female. So the first male from the family will not go to school. And the females will not exceed nomadic, that's primary 6. They will get to marriage. I went to school, and I was opportunity to be the first male. We are 9 in our mother. So when he was talking about that point, I recall my mom quarreling with my dad, and they pushed me away. I just hung up at the back that Umar must go to school. My mom was saying that Umar must go to school. And the dad said, do you want us to go against the norms of this Fulani community, in this community? Umar have to be in the house as others do. She said, no. And, but when my mom, she's in the kitchen, our dad don't want to see any male child to be in the kitchen. Once you are in the kitchen, he's passing you, move out from this. This is not your office. You have to go out and look for the food. But when he allowed me to move from secondary school to tertiary level, before my dad returned back, because it's late 2015, I saw him one time. I even snapped them, they don't know. He is helping my mom inside kitchen, cutting onions. With the influence I got from going to school. So once this gentleman was saying that I should help, I said, this is something that we need. As a result of that, we are 9. It's only our first senior daughter, because I'm the third and male, but there's 2 senior sisters. One, the first one, I couldn't have influence to influence my dad for her to go to school. She did not. But my senior sister, Sueba, she's a graduate of biology education from ATVU. And I'm almost a graduate of applied geology in ATVU. And the others, my brother is a graduate serving in JOS, chemistry, single honor from State University, Gado. My junior sister, she's in 400 level, integrated science education, Kashari. And 2 now, I got admission to them in a university. They are males. But the issue is, seriously, we have to get a space where male should be included. I enjoy being between the female gender. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I want the audience to repeat after me. Umar must go to school. Thank you, Umar. Thank you so much. Let's clap for him again. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Let's put our hands together one more time for Emezino Efiegbe for that wonderful presentation. All right, so we have to quickly go on with the rest of the agenda, but if you'll kindly allow me to recognize some organizations that we wouldn't have been able to do this conference without them. Starting off with EFINA. EFINA has been immense support. Let's put our hands together for EFINA. EFINA is enhancing financial inclusion access, and I'll tell you a little bit about what EFINA has achieved. They have so far awarded 20 technical assistance grants with a total of $3.7 million. They've awarded 12 innovation grants with a total value of $18.4 million. They have worked with 7 fintechs and awarded 7 fintech challenge grants with a total of $2 million. In terms of advocacy, EFINA has hosted over 108 innovation forum and workshops, breakfast series to address policy issues which resulted in new initiatives. They have 7 nationwide access to financial services in Nigeria surveys so far and counting, plus 50 quality scoping studies, 14 project impact assessments, and over 1,210 institutions have benefited directly from EFINA's sponsored training, capacity building, and initiatives. Let's put our hands together for EFINA, please. I'd also like to run through the list of sponsors for this event, and I really want you to join me with energy and clap for them fully, because if it wasn't for them, we would not have been able to be here today. Let's put our hands together for Money Points, UBA Bank, SunTrust Bank, IRS Energy. Let's keep the plats going, please. NITDA, WOFA, The Wheat Baker, UN Women, Wema Bank, Express Payment Services, Kudimata, Advancio, NIMC, Access Bank Holdings, First Bank of Nigeria, Fidelity Bank, SEC, Coronation, and Women Affairs Secretariat. Thank you very much. One more round of applause for our sponsors. We would not have been here without you. Thank you. Over to you, MB.
Thank you very much, Lily. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have some guests with us who will call up briefly for about 3 minutes each, who have some thoughts and perspectives to share with us. So I'd like to recognize them one after the other, and as I call them up, please let's make them welcome. And the first person here is one of our royal father. He's going to be speaking to us from royalty perspective. They are the custodians of culture and the people. So we'd like to hear his thoughts on advancing women's financial and economic inclusion. With a round of applause, please, can we please make welcome the Emir of Shonga, His Royal Highness, Dr. Haliru Indanusa Yahaya, OON. Please keep clapping until he gets here as he shares with us for a few minutes his thoughts on the issues.
Good morning, everyone. I was just listening to the last lecturer, and I just said, anything you say after that is an anticlimax. And I was trying to venture to say one or two things, but he has said it all. But my position here is that of a traditional chief, and as you say, we're custodians of culture, and we do see everything play out in our homes. That's the theater where all this is happening, and therefore we have a very significant role. Because of these issues we've noticed, a few of us who called ourselves progressives got together and not only formed a national association, we formed a continental association called Council of Traditional Leaders of Africa. And there are a few objectives we have, but two key ones is about gender, issues of education, issues of cultural barriers, patriarchy, and so on and so forth. And so that's really where we are. I happen to be, for this period, the Convener General for the African Traditional Leaders. And I think we're working in this area, and we'll be happy to collaborate with you because I can see a future of enhancing what we're doing and also furthering your cause. I have a very peculiar situation. I have 7 sisters in a family of 9, and I have 7 daughters in a family of 7. So I'm right in the middle, and whatever affects them affects my being and well-being. And so I've said to the issue very seriously, in fact, by chance. I had to look after my sisters, make sure all of them went to school and are well placed, either with men or jobs. And I'm very pleased with that. My last assignment is for the last kids under me as daughters. So it's a thing in which I'm embroiled, I'm part of it, and I'm not out of it. So I would simply say I had a wonderful lecture, and I think this first most comprehensive I've seen about gender. Gender, we traditionally find, gender is not about a woman taking charge of the house. It's not about a woman becoming the man. All these are stereotypes that exist, which we're working on, and we'll be happy to collaborate with the Center on Gender. So we'll be calling you for a bigger meeting across Africa somewhere, taking place. Nigeria's headquarters now, but it's likely to be in Ethiopia. Some of you will get invited if you're interested, but we'll advertise you wisely. So I'm very delighted to be amongst you today. I see a way of leveraging on what we are doing already, and we'll take full advantage of it. Finally, as regards the SDG, My simple comment is no SDG 5, no SDG. You don't do that, you can forget. It's got a lot of hands into so many things, education, poverty, and what have you. So if you don't take care of SDG 5, you can never attain SDG. So that's quite interesting. I have a commitment, which I don't have to read out, but I'm really committed to this course, and you always find me an answer in this course. So please, I invite all the women who are not on board to come on board. It's a worthy course. You can't lose about 40% of our GDP or what in not getting our people on board. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Another round of applause for our royal father, the Emir of Shonga. Thank you, sir. We see he's a true advocate for females and poverty of education. Thank you very much, sir. In our midst, we have, all the way from Gombe State, a woman whose mandate encompasses the empowerment of women and children. We have in our midst this morning the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development in Gombe State. A round of applause as she comes up. Haja Asmau Mohammed Ignels. A round of applause for her as she comes up to share her thoughts. Yes, please, let's keep clapping. As she comes to share with us her thoughts on the conversations we've had for the past 2 days and what's happening in Gombe State. Welcome, ma'am. One of the objectives of this conference was to pull stakeholders from across different states and strata of society to share their work and perspectives, and that's what's happening. Welcome, ma'am.
Distinguished guests, please, may I just stand on the already established protocol? Good morning, everyone. My name, as she has mentioned earlier, I'm Asmau Mohammed Ignels. As you all know, your sister from Gombe. I've been serving. This is the 4th time as a commissioner in the state. I've served in, thank you. I've served in various ministries. This is the 3rd governor I've been working with. My take is this: as my father said, the speaker has spoken well, and he has said it all. We at the grassroots, we've been pushing on few things that is happening in the grassroots. My aim, my interest, my concern here is being included to this. We really need to do more. If we can reach our own at the grassroots, knowing fully that we have a lot to do at home when it comes to gender, GBV cases. We in the Northeast, particularly, I border the 5 states from Gombe State. I was in the House as a legislator. And as a legislator, 2019 to 2023, the only female legislator, I already met a bill of Child Protection Act that has been there for 19 good years. And VAP law was 8 years. I push, knowing the importance of the bill to be a law in my state. With the help of His Excellency, my governor, Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, we brought off the bill, and successfully it was passed, and he assented it immediately in October 2022. Being the only female from a background that I know, that our children cannot be, the country cannot be saved if the women are not safe and children. And the bill is now domesticated fully and we are using it. I really want to appreciate the organizers of this event for including us at the state level. Luckily, one of our sisters, she's in the UN, she's also helping. The First Lady too is helping, but most of our problems, because of these GBV issues are poverty. I have few survivors of the GBV. I had a round-table discussion with them. They were invited to my office. What I can do, I asked. Most of them are from less privileged homes. They are children of the very poor. Some are mentally derailed, their parents, and some the deaf and dumb. You know, my ministry has to do with people with special needs. So if we can do more of issue of the children of the less privileged, the children of the poor, they should be included, we should give them space to be helped first. Whatever we are going to do, we need more sensitization. That's where we need partnership and collaboration from partners. We should sensitize our people. Passing the law is another thing. Let the populace know there is a law to that effect. And anyone that is caught as an offender should not go scot-free. FIDA has been helpful, but I want us to do more. My call here is partnership, more to the states. Let's go and set up states, committees, local government, even the world level. So that's what we are on now. I've been going around meeting the traditional institutions, our parents, our fathers, royal fathers, and even the religious leaders on this, that there is a need for us to take into cognizance, not just to do well, not just to do development, but what about our tomorrow? Our future needs to be secured. The women and children need to be happy where they are. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, this privilege to just say a word, and I also appreciate giving me this opportunity to speak a few words. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And I think that for her to have served in 4 administrations, she truly must be a woman full of value. Give her another round of applause. Because like I would always say, it's not enough to ask to be given chances. We need to prepare for the chances when they come. So that when they come, you own them, and you don't just deliver, you over-deliver on the task. So I think she must have done a very good job to have been given chances over and over and over. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes. Next up, we have a representative of the DG of the Securities and Exchange Commission in the person of Hajia Samia Hassan Usman, the Executive Commissioner Corporate Services at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Another woman. Please give her a round of applause. It's beautiful to see women rising and holding some key positions. She heads corporate services at SEC. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you all. Please, I'd like to stand on the existing protocols. The last presenter talked about why do we care? Why do we support gender and women? Well, my DG is a he for she. Thank you. So all protocols observed. It is my honor and privilege to stand before you today on behalf of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, bringing warm greetings from the Director General, Dr. Imomotimi Agama, the Commission, and the entire Nigerian capital community. We are delighted to be part of this noble initiative, which aligns with our unwavering commitment to fostering financial inclusion, empowering women, and strengthening economic resilience. I'd like to commend the organizers for convening this impactful event, for choosing such a thought-provoking theme, breaking barriers, building resilience for sustainable economic and financial inclusion. This theme resonates deeply with the SEC's mission to build a capital market that serves all segments of society and ensure no one is left behind in the quest for economic empowerment. As Nigeria's apex regulator of the capital market, this SEC operates with a dual mandate to regulate and develop the market in fulfilling its mandate. We recognize the pivotal role financial inclusion plays in national development. A financially empowered woman is an empowered household, and an empowered household is the bedrock of a prosperous economy. Our goal is to ensure that women across all sectors, whether traders, entrepreneurs, professionals, or investors, have access to financial services, investment opportunities, and the tools to build sustainable wealth. Over the years, this SEC has taken deliberate steps to ensure that the Nigerian capital market fosters inclusivity and caters to the unique financial needs of women. Through policy advocacy, regulatory frameworks, and partnerships, we continue to encourage the development of women-focused financial products. I'm pleased to highlight that some of our capital market operators have heeded this call by designing tailored investment solutions. A notable example is United Capital's Women Wealth for Women Fund, which seeks to empower women with wealth creation opportunities. Similarly, within the commodities market, innovative financial products have been structured to enhance women's participation in agribusiness, an area where many Nigerian women play a critical role. At the mention of this summit, we mobilize our operators to key into this conference as part of their support towards financial inclusion, and they are all represented here with their showcasing their products and ready to discuss and educate you on investments opportunities in the capital market. We have 6 registrars under the Institute of Capital Market Registrars and members of the Fund Management Association of Nigeria, FMAN. In addition, the SEC has actively promoted investor education for women through webinars, reaching market women, SMEs, and women-led businesses through targeted financial literacy programs. Through these initiatives, thousands of women have gained the knowledge required to participate meaningfully in the capital market. However, while we celebrate these milestones, we acknowledge that there remains a lot of work to be done. Despite the progress made, several barriers still hinder women's full participation in the financial sector, from cultural limitations to financial literacy gaps, inadequate access to credit, and the predominance of informal economic activities among women. The challenges are numerous. In northern Nigeria in particular, financial inclusion remains a pressing concern, making it imperative to intensify efforts to bridge the gap. Knowledge is key, and financial empowerment ensures that communities as a whole reap the benefits of progress. As stakeholders, we must collectively dismantle these barriers. The SEC is committed to strengthening collaboration with stakeholders, more gender-focused financial inclusion policies, encouraging financial institutions and making operators to introduce more products tailored to the unique needs of women, expanding investor education programs to reach even more women, particularly in the underserved regions, supporting women-led businesses and SMEs in accessing capital market financing for growth and sustainability. As I conclude, let me leave you with a light-hearted thought. Someone once said, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. But if you financially empower a woman, she will remind you every day of how much easier you've become. Indeed, women are not just caretakers of families, but also pillars of economic growth. As we continue to break barriers and build resilience, I must commend the distinguished gentlemen in the room who support this cause. So let us keep pushing forward. We are hopeful that when we reconvene at the next edition of this conference, we'll have even more milestones to celebrate. Thank you once again for this opportunity, and I look forward to continued collaboration in advancing the cause of financial inclusion in women. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Haja Samia Hassan Usman from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you for the good work the SEC is doing around financial literacy and investment education. Please give her another round of applause. So we're saying thank you for all you have done. Yes. And one thing she said, which we have been saying from yesterday, and we know and we're still saying now, is that there's still a lot more that we need to do going forward. And which is why, after now, the next major segment for the afternoon will be the town hall meeting, where we get to hear from you. At the town hall meeting, it will be where we get to exchange ideas, because after now, policies will be drafted, there'll be documents prepared to advance this. It won't just end as talk. It will continue on to action. At that point, we're going to be hearing from you. There'll be room for you to speak. And then we'll also have lots of the industry partners so there'll be that exchange of fusion of ideas and what be in mind. So please don't go. We'd like you to please wait until that point. That will be the highlight of the event today. But just before I leave your face for now, I need to call up one more person. We have a representative of the First Lady of Cross River State. She's the national president of African Mothers Initiative. She's representing her principal, the First Lady of Cross River State, Her Excellency, Bishop Dr. Eyowan Itam Otu. Please put your hands together as I welcome Ambassador Mrs. Margaret Mpanam. A round of applause for her as she brings us goodwill message all the way from Cross River State. Please put your hands together for her. Yesterday we had the video playing, celebrating the good work the First Lady is doing in Cross River State around women, youth, and all of them. I'm sure some of us saw that video. Maybe sometime we'll play it again today. A lot is happening there. And then she sent someone all the way because she couldn't be here to share her thoughts with us. So thank you very much, ma'am, and you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, and God bless us all. Good morning to every one of us. Greeting, dear Excellencies, Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, dignitaries and beautiful members here present. My name is Margaret Mpanam, the National President of African Mothers Initiative. I am here representing our Mother General, our Bishop, our mentor, our leader, the First Lady of Cross River State, Her Excellency, Bishop Dr. Ayowan Itam Otu. She sends a warm embrace. She is very excited to be part of this initiative because she's one of the leaders who has been so concerned about women inclusivity. She has been one of the persons that has done a lot to ensure gender equality. In Cross River State, we have remarkable numbers of women in leadership positions. And also, she has embraced every woman, no matter your tribe, no matter your religion, no matter your capacity, no matter what your age. She has embraced every woman and given all equal opportunity to excel. Seeing me standing here representing her is one of the testimonies. Please, can we put our hands together for the First Lady of Cross River State? Thank you so much. The keynote address of Her Excellency. At the launch of the She Included initiative today, January 30th, 2025, I stand before you with great joy and deep sense of responsibility. It's a true pleasure to have us discuss a topic which borders on provision of opportunities, essential resources to encourage women participation in economic and social welfare development of our society. As a woman, I have a responsibility to rebirth in Cross River State a new generation of capacity women to lead, to love, to take part in societal development. I am a believer in female capability, especially as we gain the support of our honorable men. The She Included initiative is a groundbreaking step towards empowering women economically and financially across Nigeria, and I am incredibly proud to be part of it. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Nigerian presidency, especially the Office of the Technical Advisor on Financial Inclusion. I also recommend the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Dr. Oluremi Tinubu, for her unwavering commitment to uplifting women across Nigeria and beyond. Our initiative, the Renewed Hope initiative, has already transformed lives and brought hopes to countless families, and it continues to be a beacon of empowerment and progress. As I stand here today, I am reminded of the importance of women's economic inclusion in driving the growth of our families, communities, and the nation at large. In Cross River State, we have made significant strides in empowering women, youths, and also creating enabling environments for our children to grow well. And I am honored to share some of our successes with you. Through my own project, Humanity Without Borders, we've been able to focus on health, education, financial support, and skills development for women and the vulnerable groups. These efforts have had a tangible impact, improving lives and earning recognition for our commitment to gender equity. This initiative will help address the financial barriers that has historically excluded women from the economic landscape, offering them the tool, training, and resources needed to unlock their full potentials. As we launch the She Included initiative, She is Included initiative, I call on all stakeholders, government, private sector partners, and civil society groups to join hands and ensure a great success. Together, We must create an environment that supports women in accessing capital, acquiring skills, and participating in decision-making processes. To my fellow women across Nigeria, no woman, no nation. Are we around? Build a woman. God bless us all. To my fellow women across Nigeria, I urge you to embrace this opportunity with open arms. Let us rise above the limitation the society has placed on us and show the world the capacity to lead, innovate, and transform our nation. Yes, we can. We are not just beneficiaries of this initiative, but we are also co-creators of a brighter and more prosperous future Nigeria. Furthermore, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Presidential Project Implementation Team for recognizing Cross River State's efforts in empowering women. Your acknowledgement motivates us to do even more, and we pledge our continued support to ensure the success of this transformative initiative. Together, let's build Nigeria where no woman is left behind. Our dear Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, governors, first ladies of the states, senators, Minister for Women Affairs, dignitaries, and all members present here. Nigerian women crave for inclusiveness, relevance, opportunities to impact a nation. Let us join hands together. Give every woman an opportunity. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Cross River State. God bless all the women. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that goodwill message all the way from Cross River. You can imagine how many rivers and mountains the goodwill message had to cross to get to us. Thank you very much. And please give Her Excellency our warm regards. Thank you. Thank you. And then the last of all the goodwill messages for this morning is coming all the way. So we had Gombe, and then we had Cross River. Can everybody guess where we're going to now? Not yet, but soon. Somebody said tea break. Not to worry, there's tea break, there's lunch, there's enough. We'll give you a double combo, you know. But just before that, all the way from Jigawa State, we have with us the First Lady, Hajia Hadiza Umar Namadi, ably and capably represented by the Technical Advisor to the Jigawa State Governor, Dr. Hawa Babura. A round of applause for her, as just for a few minutes, she gives us an idea of what's happening on that side of the nation. She's already on her way here. You're welcome, ma'am. No, take your time. Please keep laughing until she gets here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Please allow me to stand on existing protocol. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here representing our mother, the First Lady, Uwargidamu Mamammu, Hajia Hadiza Umar Namadi. Our governor was here yesterday. He has said all that could be said possibly. Of the highlights of his speech was the announcement that all girls will go to school for free in Jigawa State. I mean, this is a commendable, really a commendable, highly commendable act that we have started, and I'm pleased to be here, you know, among you guys. So I really want to say congratulations for all of us Nigerian women. We empower her, we empower everyone. We will give her a voice, and that means global voice. Women are it. There is no point. It's because of her that you are here. It's because of her there is everyone else. So let us not just empower women. Let us be Ubuntu. Do you guys know what that means? It means I am not without you. We cannot do this without the He-Man Women Club. So we need the support of all men. We couldn't do it alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to be together, to unite and produce. So even though we are here for women, we are not leaving men behind. Men, we need you not only to support us, not only to empower us, because we can support each other, we can empower each other. But you know what we need from you is to help us be what we are supposed to be, because we can. Thank you very much from Jigawa State. Go women! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. I love the energy all the way from Jigawa State. Thank you. And she said we should celebrate the men. Let's do something for the men. Can we give the men in the hall here and our vice president in absentia a resounding round of applause? Yes. Their support has helped us come this far. Now I want you to turn, if you have a lady by your side, turn to her and give her a high five. Say, hi sis. Can we talk the person by your left? Hi sis. Together we break barriers. Together we remain resilient. And we drive inclusion. What is it again? Let me give you a high five. Take your high five. Great. So now we're trying to compress the program for today. So please let's walk this way. There's tea break, there's lunch. We want to take the town hall meeting, have all the conversations, and then it's time for the party. It'll be time to eat, network, and everything all there is. Does that work for us? Thank you. So please, some of us might be hungry, but please just enjoy a little bit, please. We'll take the town hall meeting, then there's lunch, there's whatever you want, and then networking, pictures, do everything you want to do as we end the conference on a very high note. And so to drive the town hall meeting, can we please put our hands together as I make welcome once again our previous facilitator. If you think he did a good job, please put your hands together as I welcome the head, Gender Center of Excellence at EFINA, Mr. Emezino Afiegbe. A round of applause for him. Great. So he's going to drive the town hall meeting. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your perspectives. We want to hear your experiences, because these things will drive policies and documents. So you have something to say, please don't keep quiet. Welcome, Mr. Zino.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back again. So ladies and gentlemen, just for about 30 minutes, we want to hear back from all of us. But at the same time, we also want to touch on some solutions that are available for our benefit. I would like to invite to join me here as we have the town hall conversation, the following entities. Can we please have the SA to the Ministry of Women Affairs? If she's here, please, would love you to join us on stage. Thank you very much. A round of applause, please. Can we also have the representative from Mama Money MFB? Mama Money. In case you haven't heard about where you can get money, this is the person you need to speak to. Mama Money. Then can we also have that institution that has the logo of the huge, majestic animal, the elephant, First Bank? Can we have the representative of First Bank? A round of applause, please. Can we have Mrs. Ronke join us? Thank you. Then we'd also like to have join us the representative for Connect Her. Connect Her. Are you here, please? Welcome, Ronke. Representative of Connect Her, thank you very much. Very good. You're welcome. So we have a number of questions just to share with you the way this is going to go. We have a number of questions we would like to ask the audience. And any volunteer is welcome to share your view on those questions. Then, that is after we've heard from our esteemed representatives here. Then, after that, we're going to open the floor as we close for the last few minutes, that any question you have, this is not scripted, ask. And then our esteemed panelists, any of them will be free to respond to you. Any question we cannot answer, we will note it. And if we can have your contact, we'll correspond. So, once again, you're welcome to the segment. Let us begin by listening to the representative of Her Excellency, the Ministry of Women Affairs. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Hajia Hadiza. I'm the SA to the Minister on Policy and Coordination. I'm here this morning, it's just afternoon now, to represent the Minister and discuss on the very burning key issue that we've been talking about since yesterday. For us at the Ministry of Women Affairs, we want to appreciate everybody that has made out time to be here, most especially our women across all the states that have come down to discuss this very important, very, very relevant topic that we are discussing. She is included. And I believe that in the last 2 days, we do believe and we do acknowledge that she is truly, indeed, included in every conversation. Since the coming on board of the minister, she has been able to look at things, to review the issues on ground. And I'm very proud to state here that from the past, the ministry is now 30 years old. And since the inception of the establishment of the ministry, the minister observed that there are a lot of areas that have never actually been activated in terms of the mandate of the ministry. In the past, we have always considered the Ministry of Women Affairs as just dealing on women issues. But it will interest you to know that the mandate goes beyond just even women issues. It talks about children, it talks about child protection, and it talks about a mandate for the other vulnerable groups in the country. And when you talk about women, we're not just talking about women empowerment alone. We're talking about women protection, women development, women empowerment, the same thing for the children. We're looking at children development and protection. We're looking at family cohesion, because we do believe that without family cohesion, a lot of things go wrong. We find the street kids because of absence of family cohesion. We find a lot of gender violence issues because of lack of family cohesion. So the ministry has the mandate to ensure that that is in place, that we have to go back to basics. We have to go back to our roots. And then most of all, we have to also be able to care for the very, very vulnerable groups within the country. So with that, the minister set out to actually review the mandate, and she has come up with a strategic plan, a 3-year strategic plan that commenced from last quarter of 2024 to 2027. And in that strategic plan, it has addressed all the sectors that I've been able to speak about today. I don't want to go into too many details about it, but you can be rest assured that this is the transformative minister and that the ministry is undergoing transformative changes, reforms in alignment with the global international frameworks, in alignment with our national legislations and regulations, all within a bid to ensure that we drive sustainable changes within the system. The minister is looking forward to ensuring that we put social protection structures. And how do we drive that? By policy changes, policy pronouncements, and policy reviews. It will also equally interest you to know that the national child policy that we have in place is actually 18 years old, which makes that policy an adult, because in Nigeria, 18 years is adult age. So how can it cater for the child? So also, we have the women policy, women economic empowerment policy. And a lot of these documents that exist are not really amplified. They're not popularized. Many of us don't know. So that is what the ministry is here to do for you. We do acknowledge and recognize that government is a continuum. So we cannot feign ignorance to say what was not done before will not be the responsibility. The minister is a very open and outgoing minister, and she's ready to continue from where she has picked up, and she's totally committed to continuous improvement, and that is the way we should look at it. Whatever was not done, we're ready to do that. Whatever was not done effectively, we're ready to do it better, and we hope at the end of the day it will be for the good of the nation. So I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. We received very well the message from the Honorable Minister. Thank you so much for what you've expressed and the commitment as well. Now, we invite the audience to think about this question and be ready to ask it. And this question is, if you had the chance, I repeat, if you had the chance to get one thing from the government that will support you and your family, what would that be and why? That's the question to think about. If you had the chance to get one thing from the government that would support you and or your family, what would that be and why? So think about it, because after we hear from Mama Moni, we're going to want to see hands up, and then we'll take the microphone to you and hear your question. So let's hear from Mama Moni. Tell us how we can get money.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Debbie Boniface, and I bring this message from our founder, Nke Mokocha, who is on another assignment. So it's a privilege for me to be here to share with you what we do and what we've been able to achieve over the years and what we keep looking at achieving in our drive to empower women and drive gender inclusion. We firmly believe that women are not only key contributors to economic progress, but also the cornerstone of thriving communities. Our mission has been to ensure that women, especially those in underserved areas, have the tools, resources, and opportunities they need to succeed. Our focus has been about going for the underserved women, the unbanked women. There are a lot of women who do not have the opportunities to have bank accounts, to have the tools and resources that we have today. So we have looked at it and said, some of these women, of course, they don't have people who speak for them. So at Mama Moni, we go to these communities, we travel to these communities, and we meet them, we listen to them, hear their problems, know how we can design tools for them that suits whatever issues that they have, and then we come up with a solution and run with it. We have traveled, we've also met these women, and in these communities, we provide tailored solutions designed to meet their specific needs. Our financial inclusion initiative empower women by equipping them with access to digital tools and financial services that open doors to financial independence. For instance, through our Mama Moni female agent network. So we are the only female agent network in Nigeria. I've not heard of anyone. We have our own POS devices that we give to these women in underserved areas. Some of them don't have access to banks. Some people don't also have access to going to the distance where these banks are in. So we go to them with our POS devices, teach them how to operate them, and then they start, making transactions and earning a living for themselves. So about 60% of these women are already off poverty because now they can fend for themselves and fend for their families. We've met communities, or we've met these women who wake up in the morning with about, of course, they already have about 10 to 20 children or 15 children, and their husbands come up in a day and says, take 1,000 naira for feeding. It's been really a struggle for them. But introducing these tools, which is our financial digital tools, they've been able to fend for themselves, for their children. We've also exposed them to healthcare. We have a product that we call Fem Health, where with just 1,500 naira, they have access to basic health care. They're able to treat malaria, typhoid, and maybe one or two little skin issues. We have touched about 600,000 women across Nigeria, and we're still touching more. We have this drive that we always go with, which is, I be woman, invest in me, you no go regret them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. If you don't know, you cannot use the service. You cannot better your situation. Can we remember the question that we were asked some moments ago to think about? If we have a response, please raise your hand and the mic will be taken to you. Okay, we have the first hand. We have another one there, so we'll hear from both of you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum once again. You asked the question, if I had an opportunity to tell the government one thing about what we could do, something. The brain just shrank, sorry. But I have the answer, or I have my feedback. If I had an opportunity, I will say to the organizers, I will say to the Nigerian federal government, instead of sending people to villages, when you organize events like this, please bring the rural woman as a sample. When you bring the rural woman into programs like this, they will be more convincing when they go back to their village than you sending somebody. I mean, look at us here, all polished. Show me the people, the beneficiaries, where are they? They are not here. And it's not enough for us to speak for them. Let them speak for themselves. Let us sample, and that is the true definition of inclusivity. Thank you. I can say a lot, but that's enough.
Thank you very much. Another hand was raised. Okay, we're coming back. Well, let's go to the hand over there. Please, can you raise your hand again? Were you the one? You were the one. Okay.
My name is Basira, and I am included. Well, on the question you asked regarding one thing I can change, one thing I can ask the government to change and how it will impact my life, I know that there is a policy for 5% job inclusion for people living with disabilities with this present administration. But I would like to say, I would like to see more of impacting that policy, and actually the policy should be fully implemented. And my why is that I was born with cerebral palsy, meaning that I was born disabled, and my parents still saw that I should be educated, and they educated me to the point of university level. I was able to go to school and graduate with a second-class upper from the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University. So I would love to be able to get a job so that I can impact and tell my parents thank you for sending me to school, regardless of being born with cerebral palsy, at a point where people saw disability as stigma. That's my contribution.
All right, we appreciate that contribution. Thank you for sharing. There's nothing more impactful than a personal life experience that we all can benefit from. So, we have a number of contributions as well. Your hand is noted. We're going to come back to you. Yes, so we've noted your position, and we would love to also hear contributions from others. Let us know that the value that we need is within our midst. So I would like to very quickly request for contributions. Just a moment. Now, ahead of calling out on our valued contributors who are in our midst, the microphone, can it please be taken to the included woman over there with her hand raised? She's waving. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Queen Echoba Balola. I speak on behalf of my women farmer I'm known as Farmer Queen. All my life, I have worked with the grassroots farmer, from doing my youth service and my IT with all farmers association, where I am able to meet with the rural women who are still struggling. I want genuine inclusivity for that woman who is still going blind from frying gari with firewood, and the smoke is already affecting her eyes. I want to be included, or some of us that are truly in touch with these women to be included in the policy so we can
Thank you very much. Ma'am, 60 seconds.
Thank you.
The point has been made. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciated. All these points are being noted because no one should be excluded. So let's have a contribution from our distinguished guest here from Care International. The microphone will be taken to you. Would love to hear from you for a minute. We are not leaving this conference without any of those that can give value to all of us sharing that point so that we can take note and utilize that information. Do we have the representative from Care International? Please raise your hand.
Care International, are you here? Thank you very much. Care International is not here. We acknowledge your valid contributions to this. May we go on next, sir?
All right. Do we have here the representative from the Ministry of Livestock Development?
Ministry of Livestock, if you are here, can you please do so by indicating your hand? I think livestock is also on the livestock graze at the moment. So let's move on quickly, sir.
All right. Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria, SWOFON.
SWOFON, if you are here, if you have a spokesperson, we will be willing to give you 1 minute to just say something. Where? Oh, she's the lady speaking.
Very well represented.
Okay,
so would you speak on behalf? Okay, the mic is coming to you. The
All
mic is
right,
coming to you.
ma'am, please, you just have a minute to say something. We cherish what you have to say.
Thank you very much. My name is Mrs. Mary Afan. I'm the immediate past president of Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria. My president is here, Hajia Fatima Bello Gumi, and some of my colleagues are here. Sofon, oh yeah! Sofon, oh yeah! No woman, no food on the table. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now that we are here, we are sure we are included. We are very happy to be part of this, event. SOFON is an organization cut across all 36 states, including FCT, supported by Action Aid Nigeria. We've been working since 2012, trying to see how we can influence policy of government in favor of smallholder women farmers, especially around the budget, gender-based budgeting. As a smallholder farmer, when you are budgeting and you want to buy big tractors, I cannot ride tractors, but I can use hand tiller and power tiller to do my farm. And that is what we've been working around. We've been able to even present ourselves at the continental level. In 2016,
Madam, I think it will be best, you have a whole position paper, it will add more value, you have scratched the surface. Please, let's put our hands together for her.
Thank you, but I think I was cut short.
Yes,
if I am to be included,
I apologize,
think
ma'am.
our issues has to be captured. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It will
Thank you.
very much help you if you have a position paper. Let's have the next one, sir.
Action Aid International.
Action
Are you here?
Aid.
Action Aid, your representative. Action Aid.
Action Aid? I thought Action Aid, someone just walked. Yes, Action Aid, please, your 60 seconds starts now.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Niri Goit, representing Action Aid. Action Aid, we've worked to empower about 10,000 women across 6 states and the FCT through our Women's Voice and Leadership Nigeria project, and we funded about 137 women-led organizations in Nigeria. The question I want to ask, how can we collaborate with the government to have access to information about women economic empowerment interventions. Most times we hear about them, but our beneficiaries at the grassroots never get to access these interventions. You keep seeing links on WhatsApp. A lot of 419 people take advantage and spread those kind of links. So with this partnership, how can we have direct contact with the government that we are able to get these links and give the women at the grassroots that truly need them? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The question is noted. It's noted. So we'll definitely get back to Action 8. Can we also hear from Save the Children?
Save the Children, are you here? Save the Children. We need to save our children.
Save the Children.
Save the Children, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next one, sir.
All right, let me come back to the stage to First Bank.
Hello.
Oh, Save the Children is ready.
Save the Children? All right, you have your 60 seconds now, ma'am.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm from Save the Children, and what we do is to save children. We've been able to work with reach over 25 million children with their households to ensure that we work around child poverty. How do we ensure that children are alleviated from child poverty? By trying to empower their household, empower the caregivers, and also ensure that that impact reaches the children. But if we are talking about the questions for today, how do we ensure that, or what can the government do to support those children at the community levels, children that are facing and also are limited by harmful gender norms not to be able to achieve what they are supposed to achieve? How do we ensure that the government, especially the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, works with the structures at the community level that limit the empowerment of adolescent girls at the community level who cannot be able to access the sexual reproductive health, who cannot be able to be empowered, because we work mostly in the humanitarian sector, and you find out that most of those girls get married at a very early age. What is the government trying to do to ensure that those children at that level, especially adolescent girls, they are protected, they understand their rights, and they are empowered to achieve their potentials?
Thank you
so
much. I
much.
have a very difficult task. I would absolutely love that we have all the time, that you all can ventilate these thoughts, but we are pressed for time, so we'll allow you to scratch the surface, and I do advise that please send in a formal presentation of these thoughts so that it is dealt with as a policy position. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
we move on to First Bank for a minute.
Thank you very much. My name is Ronke and I'm included. So I'll be speaking about a single-digit loan. I mean, Zeno talked a lot about funding, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons we're here. So we have a single-digit loan in First Bank. It's called the First Gem Funds. You can get as much as 3 million as a woman. It's only for women. How do you get that loan? Just walk into the nearest First Bank branch and you'll be able to get the loans. Another way women can also be financially empowered is by being a first money agent. You can do that and earn money for your family. So the First Gem single-digit funds, you can get as much as 3 million, and then you can also be a first money agent to support your business. Thank you.
So concise. So concise. Thank you so much. So there's a reason we are doing this, because people need to know what's out there. If you don't know what is out there, which could be a solution to the challenge you're encountering, then you can't utilize it. Do we have here Princess Sandra Ola? Princess Sandra Ola, please can we have the microphone taken to her? And any questions we have that we're not able to voice out because of the limited time, please, you can write it down. It's going to be part of what we're going to collate as a communique and respond to. Princess Ola, please.
Good afternoon, all. Permit me to stand on the 60 protocols. I work with the widows, and I want to tell you one or two stories about them, if I will give the opportunity to do so. We have been working with widows for the past 15 to 20 years now, and we have gone around the 36 states in the country, and we have been to the most interior the villages especially. And when you see some widows, you will shed tears. We've been to villages in the north, especially in the north, we have over 44, where we have 44 local governments. We've been to almost all, going around, seeing how we can help the widows to survive. We've been to a village called Bebeji, where you cannot believe it that women are still cooking with 50 naira in this modern age. And there are a lot of them that have passion for so many things, hairdressing, so many things. We try to empower the one we could, but there are so many. And we have gone around, we see how women are suffering to send their children to school. We try to empower them in our own way by sending the children to
Thank
school.
You very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Fees.
Thank you very, very much. I think the thoughts have been espoused. Like advice to others again, please do send in more comprehensive position on the thoughts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bank of Agriculture.
Bank of Agriculture, can we have
If you're
you
a
at this point?
smallholder farmer, there are benefits available to you through this institution. Bank of Agriculture. Okay.
Okay, is that Bank of Agriculture, madam? Are you Bank of Agriculture? Ma'am, please let's have the microphone for our 60 seconds of thought. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, all. Bank of Agriculture, like the name of the organization implies, we are the organization that finances agricultural activities along the value chains. It could be from primary production to processing and to marketing. And for this, we have very special programs and packages for women, especially household women that will want to go into agricultural activities, but the funds are not available. If you approach us, there are ways to package loans for you depending on your ability and capacity and the scope of the project you want to embark upon. So with time, we'll find a more convenient time that we can make our checklist or requirements known to you, but I promise you it's not a hectic one. It's something that is accessible. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you go, just one question. Your loan, is it single digit or double digit?
Single digit on primary
there
production.
You go. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. Wevo Foundation. Thank you for sharing. Wevo Foundation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then let's come back to stage and now listen to Connect Her for a minute.
Thanks, Zeno. Hello, everybody. My name is Yeshua Russell. I'm representing Connect Her. Now, I know quite a few women know me from my previous roles. The total amount of business that goes to women-owned businesses from global corporations, companies, even governments is less than 1%. So women-owned businesses receive less than 1% of the total spend of companies, corporations, and governments. Now that's where Connect Her steps in. We understand that you cannot achieve economic and financial inclusion if women-owned businesses are not strategically placed along the supply chains of corporations, big or small, or government entities. Now, Connect Her has created an intuitive platform online where you can register for free, create your profile for free, have an account for free, and then post your products and services only for women in Nigeria and Africa. And then corporations around the world will be able to see your product, see what you offer, and then engage with you to buy products and services from you. So we are able to approach it from an inclusive procurement perspective, and we're open to partnership. Thank you. 1 minute, right?
Yes. Thank you. All right, from Nigeria to the world. That's what you just heard. Now let's move on to Empower Her. Agriculture Foundation. Empower her. Are you here, please?
I can confirm she's not here, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next one. If that's the last one on your list.
Sherifat Balogun. Do we have Sherifat? Okay, please, can you bring the mic to Sherifat Balogun, please?
Yes, Sherifat Balogun is here. It's your turn for your 60 seconds of thought. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and our mandate within the fund is to provide access to job creation and wealth creation because it's Lagos State, so it's basically for Lagos State. However, we've been very instrumental in working with other states, Ekiti, Osun, Kaduna, in being able to put together documentation that allows them to be able to bring a fund or an agency like so within other states. And that's part of the contribution I'd like to give today, that we're very much interested in supporting and working with other states that are looking to put together an agency or a fund that supports and brings together all of the work that would enable that state to focus on access to funding, access to finance for women, and also from the grassroots angle, the projects that allow women to showcase themselves, which brings me to the second aspect of my contribution, which is a job hub model that the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund has been able to bank on. It's a platform that allows, well, we started with women, I would say, which is really interesting. A lot of our programs also have about 67 participation for women. These contribution that I'm speaking particularly to on the job hub is to have a platform where women can come together and learn, share, and also grow. Know this, the women they should emulate and the kind of business that they can also grow on through research and development. So we would love to work with the Office of the Women Affairs. I would catch you sometime soon, Ma. And also states that are present and other partners on the private sector for us to continue to advance these connections and these partnerships that would aid women in being able to be
Thank you very
for
much,
Lagos and also for Nigeria.
She's advocating.
Thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.
Great. So, building on that, don't leave here without connections.
Yeah.
Don't leave this second day of this conference without connections.
Yes.
All right? We want to also call on Association of Nigeria Women Business Network.
Association of Nigeria Women Business Network, are you here? Please, let's have the microphone to them, 60 seconds of their thought. Institute of Capital Markets, Queen of Food Security, iAfrica Cloud, and representative of the Iyaloja of the Folashade Tinubu, we know you are here. We're coming to you shortly.
Thank you. I wear many caps. I'm here with two members of the board of ANWBN. I just want to say that, first of all, I know that a lot of women are going through a lot of things. There are so many issues now, a lot of mental health challenges, interventions needed in that regard. We've talked about sexual-based violence. When you look at businesses, access to finance, and so on and so forth. But I will also say that there are interventions and partnerships, technical partnerships, from like the UN Women. They're very open to technical partnership to help to build capacity and support in any way that we need interventions, especially for the private sector. I would also want to say that partnerships and collaborations are key, both in private and public sector partnerships in order to drive things forward. I do know that a lot of our women want to say things. Mohammed is rushing us, but I cannot leave one of my board members hanging. So I have wrapped my own in 30 seconds so that she takes the remaining 30 seconds.
All right.
Thank you so much. ANWBN is Association of Nigerian Women Business Network. It's a coalition that started with just about 8 female associations in Nigeria. And as of today, we have about 94 female associations across Nigeria. And I was the past national coordinator, and I'm presently a member of the board. She's the secretary to the board. A majority of our presidents are here represented. Now, we want to thank the organizers of this program for such a wonderful coming together. And my observation is that this kind of meeting, town meeting, is actually the highlight of such conferences. And I would want to say that we know that we are pressed for time and we are going away, but we should actually ensure that these kind of town hall meetings are given such robust timing, because it's part of your master class. Co-creation is a supply and demand issue. You have spoken to us, you have invited us here, and you want to hear from us. So cutting us from speaking, it doesn't show she is included. Am I speaking your language?
It does show.
All right, finally.
It does show she is included, ma'am.
Yes. Okay,
but
so
it's important for a She's Included conference to be well managed.
Yes.
And that is why we are
So
supporting
it shows also that you were not listening to me.
I did.
Because if you were listening to me, that will not be your response.
Because I'm
so the
I'm
last
it's okay. Thank you very much.
It's okay.
We'd like to wrap up now, ma'am.
No, the last thing I want to, you need to hear the last thing I want to say.
Last thing now.
So the last thing I want to say is that over the years of engaging with women development organizations like this, we have seen that this kind of a thing, at the end of the day, a lot of people are caught out. So I'm suggesting, I'm proposing a more, and I would like Doctor to please listen to me, sir. Doctor, sir, I want you to listen to this. Please, I am proposing a more robust roundtable of women leaders across Nigeria to be able to engage with you, to cascade the program of She's Included, for 2025. That is my proposal.
Thank you very much. Let's have the next speaker.
And we have Honorable Ambassador Halima Zubairu Dambata. Do we have Honorable Ambassador Halima Zubairu Dambata? Women Entrepreneurship and Development Forum. Okay. All right. All the points that have been shared are taken. Let's all bear that in mind. All of this is recorded. And we want this to be different so that we can implement as we move forward. And then when we come for the next conference, we can record success. My list is complete.
Thank you very much over there, sir. In a minute, Institute of Capital Market Registrars, what is your message to this conference? They are here. Can we have the microphone to them? I am told the Queen of Food Security. Queen of Food Security, you have your 60 seconds. What your message is to the conference? Just put it on.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Nwosu. I'm the Managing Director, CEO of Africa Prudential PLC, as well as the second Vice President of the Institute of Capital Market Registrars. The Institute of Capital Market Registrars is a professional body that coordinates the activities of all registrar firms in Nigeria. What do registrars do? Registrars are professional organizations that manage shares. Let me use shares because shares are the most popular form of investment. They manage the shareholder register of every public company in Nigeria. And we all know that part of the problem that has been a national issue is the issue of unclaimed dividend. And as registrars, we're working with our regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to make sure that the issue of unclaimed dividend is resolved in Nigeria. I have here my colleague, Chiamaka. She will talk to us about how we can claim our dividend. And as I tell you, we have representatives here that can attend to you. You might be shocked to see that your name is there because your father may have invested for you, your mother may have invested for you, your organization where you worked or your parents worked must have given them shares and they may not know about it. So I want you to take up this opportunity and claim them. Chiamaka.
Thank you very much. My name is Chiamaka Ogobidike. I'm the Chief Client Officer for Coronation Registrars. So just to tell us that our team, all registrars in Nigeria, we are in the booth there, go and claim your dividends. As a woman, you may have gotten married and you need to do your change of name. Please go and do your change of name, change of address. If you want to invest, we can guide you on how to invest. Thank you very much.
Finally, the Nigerian capital market investment have recorded over 30% growth this year. I spoke to some people here, a lot don't invest in the capital market. We encourage you, invest in the capital market because it's doing very well. The capital market of every nation contributes significantly to the development of that economy. In Nigeria too, the capital market is poised to support Nigerian government to make sure that we achieve that $1 trillion economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now, the Iyaloja General of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Folashade Tinubu Ojo, here is represented by Hajia Amina Edu. Please, can we have your own minute of our contribution? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I am from Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu, the Iyaloja General of Nigeria. And I'm here to talk about businesswomen because I'm a businesswoman as well. And so these businesswomen who are under the leadership of Folashade Tinubu will want some help and boost to make them feel belonged and run their own affair on how to get their business steady and strong. And so I'm speaking on behalf of these market women that this, she is included, they be included, I be included as well. So please, you will now listen to the market women as well, so that they will be able to make ends meet. And I will want to meet, I'm not meeting her for myself. It's from Folashade Tinubu, the Money Point, UBA, and the Woman Affairs Minister as well, so that we can talk things and make the she included in this groundbreaking building resilience for women. Thank you.
Queen of Food Security.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bayara Shemau, the Queen of Food Security, Nigeria, from Miss Agricultural Initiative, Nigeria. So, all right. So in our organization, we do support women from grassroots level to have access to land, input, and we do train them on agricultural education and capacity building. So I would love to encourage women and youth to dive into agricultural sector more so that we can increase the rate of food and reduce the rate of poverty in Nigeria. And we would like to be included in this program that's Breaking Barriers for Women. Thank you so much.
Professor C.D. Osho. Professor C.D. Osho, University for Women Africa.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is C.D. Osho. I'm promoter University for Women Africa. We are using education as the
to provide access to higher education space for women. We realize that admissions into higher education is always very difficult for women, particularly in specialized courses. And so we have provided a digitalized university platform so that they can have access to education. Our motto is knowledge is power, possibilities and power. And so it is so important for women to have education, higher education, so that they can compete across the world with their counterparts. We have already established in Zimbabwe, and we want to be able to work with the network in Nigeria to promote higher education space for women. It's not only to be educated, for you to have professional qualifications so that you can have great jobs. And we have a lot of women that have great minds that are very innovative. And so in the education space, they can excel. And so we look forward to working with this SHE program, SHE Included, to make sure education becomes a paramount part of this program. Thank you.
Hello, Mohammed. Yes, Your Highness.
Good afternoon, all. I just want to make a simple remark. Wherever we are, we traditional institutions are trying to work hard on issue of age of marriage. It's very contentious in the north, and you can spend your time arguing and arguing and arguing. So one of the escape routes is to ensure that, or you ensure, in whatever community you are, that girls are forced to school. When they drop out, force them back to school. By the time they are 18, we finish, most of your arguments all over. So it's a very good strategy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lydia Falabi. I'm a member of the Nigerians in the diaspora. I'm a business person, investor. We look at a number of industries, and one of the primary ones now in Nigeria is agriculture. I'm old enough to remember a time when Nigeria fed itself and exported food. And a very strong believer that if you don't have food security, you don't have security. It's nice to see all the ladies in here and also to hear about all the good things that are going on. Dr. Zauro, thank you very much for this invitation, because the news that we get outside is not about all these wonderful, prosperous initiatives. It takes a lot of work. I was here yesterday to see that we have the support from the top, and walked away from yesterday's event believing that this is not just talk, it's real action. And I would like to thank the Emir for your speech earlier, the things that you are doing right now, and also from your actions and your speech, we can understand, at least for me, it becomes apparent that you do have the dialogue with the women, and you're considering what matters to them as well. It's not just a matter of pronouncements. And then what you're doing as part of the Council of Elders, this is something that is of great interest. And for all the ladies in here, I have had the honor of being part of Women's Association that looks into the career, mentors, drive things forward. The people that I met yesterday, the thoughts, the concept, and what they are doing, it matters, and it's positive, and I walk away from here with high recommendations for my counterparties outside Nigeria, that Nigeria is not only open for business, but Nigeria, they are doing business, they are succeeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So iCloud, iAfrica Cloud School Foundation, your thoughts?
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Modupe Adeyinkaoni, and I am an educator. I've been teaching nursery and primary children for 42 years. And one of the great things that I have seen across Nigeria is that in the underserved communities, we have a lot of geniuses waiting to be discovered. After COVID, I stepped out of private education founded this foundation, and I work with children across Nigeria. I started in Makoko and Ajegunle. I've worked in Kuchingoro. I work with an orphanage in Jos called the Klapai Orphanage that has the children from the Kaduna and the Bondi insurgencies. Everywhere I go, I see these children, I see hope. This led me to opening up and founding an edtech company because I realized that literacy is the one thing that they lack. Now, literacy doesn't necessarily mean English, but it means being able to read. So even if our children can read in our local languages, it is important that at the end of the day, they combine it with literacy because that is where they will get access to the education and the skills that they need. We created a platform called EduLab 360, and we deploy this for children. And in the process, we found out that the second chance women were coming to and asking us that they wanted to read. So I congratulate the emir when he says, keep children in school till they're 18. But we also have to go and get those who have been out of school, in marriage, divorced, because they don't have any skill. So I'm here to collaborate with anybody. We have the technology. We can go to the last mile. We want to go to the last mile, but we need people to work with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, iCloud. Cowan, right?
No, Nigerian Social Investment.
NSI.
Yes, Nigerian Social Investment.
Nigeria, okay. Where is the Nigerian Social Investment?
1 minute. No.
Cowan will take you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Miriam Ahmed Hamman. I'm representing, it's the National Social Investment Program Agency from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. I'm a community facilitator, and from NSIP, we have 4 types of interventions. We have the conditional cash transfer unit, we have the homegrown feeding program, we have the empoweringwomen, and we also have the enterprise development. So what we basically do in NSIPA is that we step down social investment programs that meet the social and economic needs of the gender. We are not looking at just women, but we are looking at the whole society. Previously, from 2019 till date, we stepped down the household operating program, giving 10,000 naira stipends to vulnerable households, which are female-headed households. We stepped down the COVID-19 Action Economic Resilience Economic Stimulus, and we are on the Renewed Hope Subsidy Conditional Cash Transfer Program. So, but there's challenges with information. Many people are not informed, and many people are not captured in the National Social Register. So you can always check our website, NSIPA, www.nsipa.com, and see if you are eligible for such programs. We have enumerators that are working with us that go into rural communities basically to mine those data, and those data is in the National Social Register data, which is now being checked for the national beneficiary data. And we have DLIs, it's called the disbursement link indicators. We have the chronically ill, the aged, the urban poor, and also the special persons. So please, 2 things I quickly want to step out is, the Ministry of Women Affairs, you basically know that the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs was pulled out from your ministry. So we always need to work in hand, please. And secondly, please, the special guest seated here, I would like to call your attention in the area of public-private partnership. Please, we need your support because we are basically supported by World Bank. And we cannot be waiting for World Bank to come and always support us since they have the sub-Saharan area covered. That's one. Please, let's see how we can work out and step down these programs to meet every area of the society. And secondly, please, let's always have a time plan for unforeseen consequences. Like in NSIPA, we look at problems that we didn't plan for. Flooding is there, crisis is there, hunger is there, poverty is there. There are so many things that might come up. What strategies and structures do we have on ground that will address the crisis? Like when COVID came on board, we were in the field, in the communities working while people were at homes. So if something comes out, what policies and structures do we have as active response?
Thank you very much.
Thank
Your
you, sir.
points are well noted. We've got to Move on. Which is Co-1? Co-1.
Excellent.
All right, Co-1. Country Women Association.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Princess Ade Shola Ogunleye, the National President of Country Women Association of Nigeria, founded in the year 1982. By this year, October, will be 43 years in Nigeria. This is the organization that started empowering women, and across the 774 local governments that we are working, we have counted over 25 million women and youths that we have empowered since the existence of Co-1. I'm here to represent all the rural women in Nigeria. And for me being here, I know that we are going to see a solution to poverty eradication among Nigerian rural women. And for me today, I want to appeal to the organizers and the Vice President to please look through the grassroots women, whereby we see the farmers, the traders, and the artisans.
Thank you very much, Co-1. I will just perhaps allow, because you are making a point, how can you be reached? You are about empowering women. How could they reach you to continue this engagement?
Okay. We have our office in Akure, Ondo State, and we have our coverage nationwide. Whenever they want to see us, I have my contact is with the organizers. They can call me.
Thank you very much. All right. Did I see? We really are pressed for time, but valid points are being made by all. I saw, was it Abuja Chamber of Commerce? Abuja Chamber of Commerce. Please, let's have your six. Okay, sorry, even before Abuja Chamber of Commerce, Prof. Was that was something about Women Chamber of Commerce? Yes. Wait a minute. There's some women, is that it? Is that the same? Yes. Okay, is she the one? Okay. Up now? Okay. Maybe it's the same as the one?
Chamber of Commerce?
Yes. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce is different from the Women's Chamber of Commerce.
So yours is Women Chambers, man?
Yes, this is Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industries.
Okay.
Yes. So I just wanted to say thank you for this invitation, because usually this kind of thing ends up in a talk show. But as we could see, it isn't a talk show. Somebody has put something together, and after all the conversations yesterday and what we are having today, that means that something is really going on with us women. Somebody is really putting something to thoughts, to actually include women and help us in our resilience and help us in being included financially. We may not have it all stated here, but I believe that with all the contacts and the networking that we have done here, and with once we stay in touch with the organizers, then we'll be able, since we've been identified in groups, we should be able to benefit from this program. But felicitations from the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm the chairperson for Women in Business. It's a trade group in the Abuja Chamber of Commerce. My name is Mrs. Chioma Njoko. We're glad to be here. We've been here since yesterday, perhaps observing, but I can assure you, we want to invite women to please come and be part of what is going on at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. When you have a chamber, occasionally you do have interventionist agencies coming in and wanting to reach out to the women. And that is actually a veritable place where women can be contacted and they will benefit from whatever interventions that become available. So thank you very much, Mr. Zauro, for this invitation.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Abuja Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you.
You know, frankly, I have a very difficult task. It is the task of not allowing voices to be heard. And it's tough when you are a he for she champion like myself. It's very difficult. But then, you know, striking a delicate balancing act between a conversation and just ensuring that we all, and I acknowledge the fact that we didn't go for tea break and we're standing before lunch and prayers. But I can assure you that every voice has been heard, and all the unspoken ones, I have the assurances of Dr. Zauro, indeed the office of the Vice President, that no voice will be unheard. Even if not here, through all the channels. And I'm sure he will speak to that in his closing remarks. These conversations are moving from the banquet hall of the State House, and it's going now to meet you in your locations. So I can tell you that the Zauro will soon be in Akure, he will be in Yenagwa, in Yola, and that way we will even have versed all of the thoughts. But I thought this has been a very fantastic town hall meeting. If you share the same sentiment, can we collectively shout, she's included, she's included, she's included? So?
It's included, she's included, she's included.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for ourselves. There's some announcements regarding lunch. I'd like to invite my colleague, MB, to make those announcements, and thereafter,
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you for sticking with us and not leaving and working out on us. Thank you so much. After this, we're going to shut down nicely. But then please, for lunch, for the VIPs, the CEOs, our guests, our speakers, you know yourselves, please you walk out through the front door, and the rest of us will just go behind to the right. Food is already served, so just nicely, there are different service points. Please just let's queue at the different service points, make it very fast and seamless. So please, the rest of us, the VIPs, our speakers, our first ladies, all our speakers, you go out through this door, the door in front. The rest of us, please, the door behind. And then there are different service points.
Wait.
Please be seated.
Please, 1 minute.
Please be seated. The man who convened us, let him formally dismiss us now, I beg. You see the mood, I know the mood of the hall. Please let me formally invite Dr. Nuruddin Abubakar Zauro. Let him formally just draw this to a close. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think it's just to say a very big thank you to everyone, at least for being part of these success stories, and to also give you, reassurance, that this administration under our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we are for people, not only for people, but President is also he for she, right? He is certainly in support of women, so we are here to ensure that all your concerns are voiced. That is why we insisted that your voice must be heard. So we will try as much as possible to collate all those concerns that you raise. Then let's see how we can action them. And this platform is going to be a continuous engagement, especially She's Included movement. It's not going to be one-off event. So as you can see, it's a first gender inclusion initiative. So we will follow through and ensure that from time to time we can do such kind of fantastic initiative. Not necessarily in Abuja. We can decide to go to one village at least to ensure that people at the grassroots level also their voices are heard. So thank you so much for being part of these success stories, and we sincerely appreciate you. And like I always say, for updates, please, we will try to be updating on our website, www.shesincluded.org. We'll try to be posting some of the updates so that we'll keep you posted. And for those whom we do not have them on our database, we'll create a platform whereby you will register so that we'll have the comprehensive database, especially for women's initiative across the country. The intention is actually to be sure that all your voices will be heard and they will translate into policy initiatives by this administration. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my principal, so on behalf of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in whose platform we are organizing this program, I would like to say a very big thank you so much. And please, I would like to convey his message of love and affection to all the women, in the country, and assure you that going forward, the platform will be made ready and for your voices to be heard. Thank you so much once again for being part of these success stories today. Good afternoon, and I wish you a successful journey back to your various destinations. He for she, and she for he, right?
We want to take a picture with you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, you may go for lunch now. Have a safe journey back to your respective locations. Please take pictures, network, meet new people, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming, and God bless you.
Dream, a clear path to every destination, an opportunity for every vision, and an ally through all seasons. I am your sister. I am your friend. I am Sarah, the beginning of better things for you. Sarah by Wema, for women who want better.
The journey to build a sustainable Africa is asking more of the finance sector than ever before. Access Holdings is turning this vision into a reality, thanks to its environmentally conscious financial services. Whether it's reaching for carbon neutrality or inspiring the next generation of leaders, Access is living by its green credentials to ensure that Africa's future is sustainable and prosperous. Access, where financial solutions connect the world.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of the first Gender Inclusion Conference. At Access Bank, we're committed to driving financial inclusion for everyone, especially for women across all regions in the country. Since launching our innovative agency banking model in 2019, we have expanded our reach through a robust network of over 700,000 agents, with 38% of them being women, surpassing the CBN's female agent participation target of 35% as of December 2024. This network allows us to provide essential financial services even in most remote areas of the country. To further promote female inclusion, we have made our entry points more accessible, enabling more women to join our platform. Whether it is savings, loans, or payments, we're committed to empowering women by offering services that are accessible, tailored to their needs, and designed to support them in growing their businesses and improving their households. In 2012, we introduced Better Proposition for the underbanked, an innovative savings account aimed at unbanked and underbanked market segments, especially targeted at women without alienating the men. Our efforts at bridging the gender inclusivity gap over the years have resulted in women representing 40% of our total customer base. So far, we have organized financial literacy programs and free skill acquisitions in different locations across the country. We are excited about the upcoming Gender Inclusion Conference and the conversations it will spark. This conference offers endless possibilities to collaborate, learn, and inspire each other towards building a future where women are at the forefront of financial empowerment. At Access Bank, we believe that financial inclusion is not just about access, it's about opportunity and empowerment. Together, let's create a world where every woman has the right tools to succeed. My name is Chizobai Heme, the Group Head of Agency Banking at Financial Inclusion. We look forward to connecting with you at the conference. Thank you.
Financial literacy is perceived.
In today's fast-paced financial world, managing your investments shouldn't be a hassle. Yet, juggling multiple accounts and endless paperwork can be quite overwhelming. Introducing Shareholder Life by Coronation, the ultimate solution for seamless portfolio management. With Shareholder Life, you'll have the tools and insights to take control of your investment. Maximize your returns, minimize stress, focus on what truly matters, your financial future. Join thousands of satisfied shareholders today by signing up for Shareholder Life and experience a smarter way to manage your investment. Visit our website or contact us to learn more.
In the world of capital markets, precision and insights are key. Managing shareholder relationship and tracking market trends can feel like a complex puzzle, one that is often hard to solve. This is where Issuer Life comes in, the ultimate platform for issuers to streamline their investor relations and market analytics. With Issuer Life, you will have access to real-time data, comprehensive reporting, and actionable insights. Issuer Life empowers you to navigate the capital markets with confidence through faster report generation, informed decision-making, real-time insights, and competitive advantage. Sign up for Issuer Life and start achieving your investor relations and market analytic goals. Visit our website or contact us to learn more.
I am Ibrahim Dasuki Arabi, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms. We are delighted to support the hashtag #SheIsIncluded initiative, a visionary program championed by the Office of the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, ahead of the upcoming 2025 Conference and Summit on Gender Inclusion. This initiative underscores the critical importance of ensuring women are fully included in every sphere of our society by creating equal opportunities and removing systematic barriers. We can empower women to lead, innovate, and drive sustainable development. At the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, we are fully aligned with this vision.
In today's fast-paced financial world, managing your investments shouldn't be a hassle. Yet, juggling multiple accounts and endless paperwork can be quite overwhelming. Introducing Shareholder Life by Coronation, the ultimate solution for seamless portfolio management. With Shareholder Life, you'll have the tools and insights to take control of your investment. Maximize your returns, minimize stress, focus on what truly matters, your financial future. Join thousands of satisfied shareholders today by signing up for Shareholder Life and experience a smarter way to manage your investment. Visit our website or contact us to learn more.
In the world of capital markets, precision and insights are key. Managing shareholder relationship and tracking market trends can feel like a complex puzzle, one that is often hard to solve. This is where Issuer Life comes in, the ultimate platform for issuers to streamline their investor relations and market analytics. With Issuer Life, you will have access to real-time data, comprehensive reporting, and actionable insights. Issuer Life empowers you to navigate the capital markets with confidence through faster report generation, informed decision-making, real-time insights, and competitive advantage. Sign up for Issuer Life and start achieving your investor relations and market analytic goals. Visit our website or contact us to learn more.
I am Ibrahim Dasuki Arabi, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms. We are delighted to support the hashtag #SheIsIncluded initiative, a visionary program championed by the Office of the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, ahead of the upcoming 2025 Conference and Summit on Gender Inclusion. This initiative underscores the critical importance of ensuring women are fully included in every sphere of our society by creating equal opportunities by removing systematic barriers, we can empower women to lead, innovate, and drive sustainable development. At the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, we are fully aligned with this vision.
From the woman who cares to listen to the woman who cares for more. You are a queen. Life is your kingdom. And this is your time to reign. You deserve wings from every dream, a clear path to every destination, an opportunity for every vision, and an ally through all seasons. I am your sister. I am your friend. I am Sarah, the beginning of better things for you. Sarah by Wema, for women who want better.
The journey to build a sustainable Africa is asking more of the finance sector than ever before. Access Holdings is turning this vision into a reality, thanks to its environmentally conscious financial services. Whether it's reaching for carbon neutrality or inspiring the next generation of leaders, Access is living by its green credentials to ensure that Africa's future is sustainable and prosperous. Access, where financial solutions connect the world.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of the first Gender Inclusion Conference. At Access Bank, we're committed to driving financial inclusion for everyone, especially for women across all regions in the country. Since launching our innovative agency banking model in 2019, we have expanded our reach through a robust network of over 700,000 agents, with 38% of them being women, surpassing the CBN's female agent participation target of 35% as of December 2024. This network allows us to provide essential financial services even in most remote areas of the country. To further promote female inclusion, we have made our entry points more accessible, enabling more women to join our platform. Whether it is savings, loans, or payments, we're committed to empowering women by offering services that are accessible, tailored to their needs, and designed to support them in growing their businesses and improving their households. In 2012, we introduced Better Proposition for the underbanked, an innovative savings account aimed at unbanked and underbanked market segments, especially targeted at women without alienating the men. Our efforts at bridging the gender inclusivity gap over the years have resulted in women representing 40% of our total customer base. So far, we have organized financial literacy programs and free skill acquisitions in different locations across the country. We are excited about the upcoming Gender Inclusion Conference and the conversations it will spark. This conference offers endless possibilities to collaborate, learn, and inspire each other towards building a future where women are at the forefront of financial empowerment. At Access Bank, we believe that financial inclusion is not just about access, it's about opportunity and empowerment. Together, let's create a world where every woman has the right tools to succeed. My name is Chizobai Heme, the Group Head of Agency Banking and Financial Inclusion. We look forward to connecting with you at the conference. Thank you.
Financial literacy is perceived differently by people, from mama in the market to students, professionals, small and medium-sized business owners, corporations, institutions, the government, and even children. While there are established principles for financial literacy components, such as earnings, spending, budgeting, savings, investment, and debt management. It is important to recognize that financial matters are relative and do not have a one-size-fits-all approach. My name is Kathleen, and I am the Group Managing Director, Hoodie Matter Nigeria Limited. The relationship between financial literacy and accessibility to financial services remains a concern. It presents a phenomenon just like the egg and the chicken question. Which comes first? Does offering financial products and services drive inclusion for economic growth and sustainability? Or does increased financial literacy lead to greater inclusion for economic growth, scalability, and sustainability? With my extensive experience of over 3 decades, I would arguably say that financial literacy should be prioritized for effective inclusion. Thankfully, Hoodie Matter Nigeria Limited addresses these issues by offering basic financial and digital literacy education from an economic development perspective. As an ardent advocate for the promotion of growth, scalability, and sustainability among young individuals, women, and aspiring entrepreneurs, we have successfully trained and certified over 630,000 young people and women across Nigeria in this regard. In the past 2 years, we have dedicated our efforts to providing them with comprehensive financial literacy and essential business fundamental training programs. Our influence extends further to conducting specialized green entrepreneurship training programs, empowering over 1,800 young individuals and women, and facilitating the registration of 30,000 businesses at a 50% discount. It is noteworthy to state that these milestones have been achieved through collaboration Corporate Affairs Commission, and esteemed private institutions. I dare say, therefore, that financial inclusion, entrepreneurship development, and other developmental phenomena may be unsuccessful without adequate financial literacy.